the yellow wave hit massively, and it was like Monday night. It ravaged me, and over like the last couple of days, it's just like all the drainage and stuff that I have. It just wrecks my stomach, and it's causing like stomach pains and stuff. No fun at all. When the wind blows, it looks like an old Texas town with the dust, but it's all just pollen.
Oh my goodness.
How are you this morning?
Well, I was I guess I'm tired. I literally hit my alarm went off, and I took the phone off the charger and turned off the alarm, and it made it, because I sleep. I last couple Fridays I'll sleep out here in my living room on my recliner to make it easier for me to get up for this. And this time, man, I didn't. I turned off the phone and I never got out of the recliner. I just literally woke up 3 minutes ago. I woke up, walked to the kitchen, poured my coffee that was on an automatic timer, and walked here and turned the computer on.
Yeah. There's Izzy. Boom! I'm about to go grab my coffee now.
So, yeah.
I think Izzy was the only one prepared on time today because he's in the chat. No link.
Yeah, I looked at it earlier. I was like, and then I'm like, and I'm like, is he having a show today?
Good morning, that's what I said. Like when I was surprised. Well, I was like, oh, okay, well, Mark will be there, and and I'll be the one who's late for a change. And then I when I did get in here, and I turned on. Well, no, I understand that. I was telling my story. I'm like, but then I went to the computer and I turned on. I got to the StreamYard, and I was like, oh, it's not live. I wonder I guess maybe Mark is late as well. And then I got here, and then Mark was just sitting there backstage by himself, crying in the corner in the dark,
all alone.
He was down, hugging his knees, rocking back and forth in the corner, inconsolable. Really,
yeah.
It took us a moment to talk him off the ledge, and
he didn't have enough caramel corn.
Not enough.
Not enough.
I want to get my coffee ready.
Oh my goodness. So yeah. Anyways, let's say good morning to some folks here. Darth Lopez from the Tower of Babel. Paul Morales. Hello all. Hello Paul. Freaky Louie. His comment is Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. Hello everybody. Brother John, good morning, brothers and sisters. I assume Mark and Rob are watching the Severance finale, and if not on yet. Mark said, I wish.
I just finished watching the penultimate episode of Rings of Power. That's how far behind I am with everything.
Rings of Power. I don't know what you're talking about, but
exactly. You know how long ago that was?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Literally. Lord of the Rings.
Oh, see, that's why I don't know. Good morning, Dan. It's Hobby Corner. Good morning to Mark Spector Comics. Rob is having Brian fog. Oh, brain fog. Yes, brain fog. Sorry, you too. No typo issues. Good morning, Locke. And JSS Brooklyn. There you go. Let's see. Oh, we're still going. There's more chat here. Don't fiddle with my faddle. Nice. That's the kind of cleverness I expect from Freaky Louie. There's our Brian Fogg right there. Brian LCS, good morning. And Stephen C, good morning. So there you go. Everybody's there. We've said hellos. Now I want to drink some more coffee.
Might you have some cereal?
I'll figure out breakfast a bit later, but I was watching. Oh, I was finally watching some. I saw last night. I watched Reacher, the latest episode of Reacher, just to make sure I got that done. And then I think it was on. I guess for some reason I switched from Amazon over to Netflix.
Okay.
Which is, yeah.
Wasn't raw, I tell you that much.
I think I was just I wanted to see what I don't watch a lot of Netflix other than usually Monday nights, so I wanted to see what else was potentially there. And I decided to start watching Tacoma FDNY. Because I think
that's got some of the Broken Lizard crew. Those guys are hilarious.
Yeah, because there's so many clips that would come up in my IG reel feed sometimes. And so I was like, oh, all right, let me watch some of this. First couple episodes are rough until the daughter joins, but the team. But yeah, it wastes some TV time. That's for sure.
Have you seen the show Tires?
I've never heard of it.
It's on Netflix. It's got just like a bunch of. I know they have like a.
It's about wheels.
Yeah, they go round and round. It's about a Tire Lube Express, like a Jiffy Lube kind of thing, but it's got like the stand-up comedians that you recognize a lot of. But it's like just 6 episodes, half-hour episodes on Netflix. It's got these guys that do a bunch of short video sketches that ended up getting a little show, but it's hilarious.
It's not in the same as Jackass, right?
No. It's a sketch. It's a sketch show. It's like they took like a sketch and turned it into like a little 6-episode show. But Tires it's really good.
Interesting.
It's super funny if you just want to kill some quick time kind of thing. But
Steven C saying it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
Throw it on the list. The other sometimes I only want to watch half-hour shows. Sometimes I don't want to sit down and watch hour-long shows.
Yeah.
The other show that I saw on Netflix that I want to see. I don't know if you wanted to see it. I think it's called like. I know it's dark something. It's like it seems like the premise is it's a Navajo police show.
I think Kyle watches that.
I don't know. There's some of the clips of it. Whatever, it looked somewhat interesting. I thought maybe I'd give it a look. I watch enough police shows.
Yeah, she watches all those things. Dark Winds.
Yeah.
Looks like the Territory Police.
Yeah. Something different, a different take on the police procedural potentially.
They get from what, if I remember correctly, from like, can I just catch stuff with her that she's watching from time to time? I think that's the one where they're like investigating like the murder of somebody, but it's like with a bow and arrow. Find this kid with an arrow in him kind of thing. Might be thinking of a different one, but she watches all these things. She loves them.
Fair enough. But Reacher was badass.
Yeah, I haven't watched this week's episode yet. I'll watch it tonight with the wifey.
Yep. As we set up that finale.
The finale of season 2 of Severance is on today.
Yeah.
T-Dubs posted last night saying it was on, but I was like, oh, man, I want to watch it.
A lot of talk about that already.
Huh?
There's a lot of talk about that already.
Yeah, I'm going to avoid that talk like the plague until I watch it.
No problem here. I haven't watched. I don't even know what Severance is is about. I haven't watched a
Apple TV.
Oh, well, so there you go.
Like
they don't know what it's about either.
The concept to it is like if you could separate your work life and your home life, like literally separate it. When you walk into work, your brain switches where, like you have a separate personality. You've severed the two halves of your brain kind of thing where when you walk out of work, you don't have a single memory from what you did that day. So you practically have created 2 separate versions of you. That's what the name of the show comes from. But is that what the show's about? No, that's not what the show's about at all. That's just let's lay down the foundation of where we're going to tell a story in a world where you have a split personality, one that stays at work, one that stays out of work, and then the story starts. But it's like the best mystery show that's been written since Lost, hands down. Nothing comes close to being as engaging as like thought provoking. It's wild. It's super wild.
Okay. Doesn't sound interesting to me at all, but
it's because it's almost impossible to describe without like ruining aspects of it.
Got it.
Written
like,
by
I mean that it's like impossible to describe without spoiling the hell out of stuff. Mm-hmm. Every single thing is something. Every single character, every single action they make, every single location in the show is all a mystery that you're wanting to see unsolved somehow. Everything, nothing safe.
So here's my real question: if you watch the first episode, do you get drawn in?
There was a lot that I was drawn in with the first episode, but by the time you're to episode 6,
oh fuck it. Okay,
no. I said the first one drew me in, but by the time you get to episode 6, you realize how vast everything is. It just, like there's a lot of those shows that people want answers to, like, oh, I'm sticking around for that. It just keeps pulling you into the rabbit hole. It doesn't like. That's why I say there's so much that you can't talk about anything without spoiling stuff. From the first episode, you want answers, but by episode 6, you're wanting answers to questions you didn't even know you were going to ask during episode 1. It's like Lost. Lost, you're like, okay, are they going to? Well, it's a concept that I'm sure you're capable of comprehending. Remember, in episode 1,
never been lost. I always look at my directions before I go somewhere.
In episode 1, you have questions like, what was that noise in the woods? Why was there a polar bear there? By episode 6, so many new problems have arisen and mysteries have been brought to light that you're not even thinking about the polar bear anymore. You're not even thinking about like that loud whatever it was in the woods that yanked the pilot out of the cockpit. Like the questions you thought you had are forgotten to more interesting questions.
Like whether or not it was Old Man Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins.
It was the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Those meddling kids always find out it's Old Man Jenkins.
And you would have gotten away with it too.
That's right.
Was this whole damn kids?
Yeah.
Meddling kids. Meddling kids.
Well, we're in a different time period. Who says meddling these days anyway?
Who says pesky?
Old.
That is true.
Yeah.
Old Man Jenkins.
We're all
Old
doing
Man Jenkins. Right, I say kids all the time, unfortunately.
But then again, you're that age already, right? That's your generation. Brats, morons, idiots. That's what people call them these days.
The general public.
Influencers.
Either of you guys pick up Absolute Flash this week?
Nope. I pulled the parachute on most of the Absolute stuff.
What'd you think of it, Izzy?
I want to see what they do with Barry. Because based on what I saw, there's not much you can do with him anymore.
Is it the question? I want to see what happened with Barry.
Yeah, I want to see what happened to Barry.
I read the solicitation of the book a while back, and it says no Speed Force, no family, no help. The Flat. I'm like, and then I start reading the book. I'm like, yo, wait, here's Barry. What are we doing? And by the end of the book, I'm like, okay, no family. I
like the designs for the rogues though. It's kind of cool.
Oh, the rogues were tough. The Flash
the rogues look cool.
Does not look good, but I see now with episode or issue 1, they explain where it isn't like he put this suit together thinking it was cool. This is what was being used in that lab for whatever they were working on.
Yeah. So, and obviously there's a time travel element in the comic where you don't really know how it's all aligned. Like one moment he's here, one moment he's there, one moment he's here and there.
No, I like that aspect of it, and I was thinking about the time travel thing. It reminded me of Reverse Flash, how he's not accessing the Speed Force, moreover, he's accessing time. But then I thought we're just kind of experiencing the super speed with Barry, so we don't know how they're going to present his speed power yet, which I'm excited to find out. There's aspects of it that I was really enjoying, and of course, with anything that's this different, gonna have to take a little bit of issues to get into the book to figure out how much you enjoy it or how much you don't enjoy of it.
And I don't really like the jacket. I don't mind the costume so much, but I don't like the jacket.
What about his crop top?
Yeah,
Izzy, no one likes his crop top. That's what's wrong with the outfit.
It's like,
how can you fight crime with your midriff?
Well, there's also when you go that fast, isn't there friction or like
the bottom of it be
like he ended up getting like pouches or something on or something, or I don't know.
I don't understand it.
Oh well,
it's not a good design. It's just
someone thought it would look cool.
Someone did thought it would look cool. I hope it burns off.
It's like giving a superhero 90 pouches. Like, how's he gonna know which pouch what he needs is in? I mean,
where's those stupid smoke bombs? Y'all keep up with the JFK file stuff this week? Don't even make that face, Rob.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Where you were
I really don't know what you're talking about.
How do either of y'all not know what I'm talking about? Y'all live under a rock? Yeah, even my wife just poked in there and went, "What?
JFK files? Oh,
yeah, we need to know where Rob was the day.
I don't watch news, man.
Denying knowledge of the JFK.
I rarely watch any type of news.
JFK file stuff was like decades ago.
Rob, you are the federal government's target audience. You are the person that they speak to directly.
Well, I'm too busy looking for a light box. That's what I'm doing.
The JFK files were not decades ago. The Warren Commission was. They let go of a couple of pieces of paper in the 90s and then a couple of years ago. But 2 or 3 days ago now, all of the files on JFK's assassination were declassified. Over 1,000 documents, over 80,000 individual pages were completely declassified and
hey everybody, look at this, and don't look at us over here doing this to the actual government. Go look at this over here. Or so you can feed your fucking.
Or you can look at it the way that a lot of people do. Is this was something that the campaign was ran with this included in it. So what?
Oh, what did he do? I mean,
well, there's a lot of people out there, myself included. That like this one is really like my wheelhouse of kind of stuff that I care about. Not that matters or changes my life.
I care more about the fact that the other things that are going on. But
yeah, everyone has different interests in other things. I'm not saying that this affects or changes the
elimination of freaking the press pool at the White House and the president's team handpicking now who's allowed to cover the president and who's not allowed, instead of the 100 years precedence of the international press pool being the one who decides. That's more concerning to me.
Vital is not one that I would consider it vital. Point being, I don't think it affects my day, but it's wickedly interesting, and it's crazy that we haven't had them a long time ago. But it's stuff that a lot of people are interested in. It's one of America's biggest conspiracies. Goes back for decades. The word conspiracy, it absolutely is, despite what Rob's face makes. But the word conspiracy theory stems from this event itself, even. Like the word conspiracy theory was a government coined phrase that was applied to people who were questioning the narrative that the government fed the public at the time. But it's wickedly interesting for people who like this stuff. And it's crazy how dismissive you are about it. That's blowing my mind.
I don't see that.
Like even 5 years ago, like 10 years ago, 30 years ago, the JFK stuff never interests you. Most people have like some form of interest in it.
You're interested in it, but I mean, I don't go down this rabbit hole of assuming that the answer that's been you know, I don't go thinking that, oh my God, it's got to be some weird government cover up and stuff involved in all this stuff, and the government killed him. I mean, or any of those other these wacky ideas. That doesn't seem plausible to me.
Then one vital new fact that dropped in those files, because I couldn't find one. One would be like there's not a paper that exists. I don't think anyone expects a paper to exist that says on this day this person instructed these people to go set up, and that paper doesn't exist. What you can get from the papers that are now available, or like the best you can hope for, is being able to create a timeline. Like if these papers, if all of this information is what was offered to an honest Warren Commission back in 64, 65, for them to go through all these papers, they could set up like a timeline and create like an accurate, probable scenario. So that's what's kind of happening now, is people are taking all the information available and putting together a more accurate, more probable scenario. Like they released the audio studies that show that like there's nothing's ever definitive. Like this is the case, but they released like the audio stuff that showed that they suspect, based on the audio that they have and the investigating into it, that more than one gunman was there. It showed that not only was Lee Harvey Oswald confirmed now connected with the CIA, not as an asset, not just on their radar, but had met with the week prior to. It shows mob involvement. It shows parts that were listed to be redacted, that they released them still unredacted with them in brackets, and at the bottom saying you need to redact these lines of other government involvement with heavy CIA stuff at that time surrounding all this stuff. But you're not going to find that this person said this and these people pulled the trigger. That paper will never exist, never has. But there's all kinds of new stuff that stringing lines, new things now. And you also get a lot of stuff just that's situational of how they were operating at that time. You can watch in line by line, see how they're identifying assets, compromising assets, and drawing informants in and stuff, which is very telling of how the CIA worked at that time. Like literally line by line.
So I have a question. My question is regarding, I understand the curiosity factor. The curiosity factor, I get it. That I get it. There's definitely a curiosity factor. However, what I'm interested in understanding is, why is it important today as far as for the government? That's the question I have.
I think for a lot of people, there's like just a huge distrust in government.
What do they want to be revealed? That's the real question.
And for a lot of people, when your government's telling you one thing and you just know differently, you want to be vindicated, because I mean, there's a level of frustration that comes with being told it's raining outside when someone's just pissing in your pocket, and to be able to say, "Look, I told you." They're just pissing in the pocket. It just it makes making decisions and taking the information you hear afterwards. You're able to feel differently about it. You're able to like have confidence in yourself at that point. It's kind of like how crazy, like, man, it's hard to even get into like good examples over the last just couple of years that everyone will relate to without YouTube getting mad at you. But stuff like saying that the whole COVID virus, that it came from a lab in China, that would get you banned off of Twitter. That would get your account locked down on Facebook. That would get your video flagged on YouTube. And now that is the case. But like, it's like, so it's just like a part of being vindicated. Like when people are lying to you and you're feeling like, why do I feel crazy or stupid for thinking you're lying to me? You know, when someone lies to you and you know it's a lie, it's almost insulting. So to be vindicated of that, it's like, thank you. There you go.
And I get all that. Don't get me wrong. And I understand the JSS question is like the history of our nation. There's a lot of things about the history of our nation that's not good, and it continues, right? It's more.
Oh, what are you talking about? America is great. Anything else you've heard is wrong.
My whole thought is, how does, and again, I don't want to get into a political thing here, but my whole thing about it is more on the lines of, how does it affect the way we're going to live today, as opposed to the curiosity factor of understanding what really happened then.
It won't, and that's the point of like them prolonging declassification of any material, not even just the JFK thing. Like the concept of the declassification of stuff, it's supposed to be after a point where parties involved or agencies involved can't be too directly affected, including stuff like the method in which this agency operates. Because by declassifying this, you're able to see exactly how this agency moves and operates through the world, associated and not associated with JFK. You see how they operate, and you wouldn't want people to see that, like if you're running operations in their country or this or that.
Scotty's on fire today, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's just dropping lines every left and right.
Oh, it's not that I don't love America. The problem is that I do.
I think that's a good phrase, Rob. I think we live in a time where a lot of people feel that way, and yet it's like that's what pushes us in so many different directions. People forgot that we have the same. Most people have the same goal, just different methods, and the methods are pushing people apart.
I'm totally cool with people having differences of opinions on different things and beliefs in a lot of different stuff. I really have a problem though with the dismantling of constitutional normalcies and the erosion of the balance of the three branches of government into a single branch of government. That's where I have a serious problem. I never thought I'd live in a world where the Phantom Menace is a reality show.
I'd have a problem with that as well. And if that happens,
Phantom Menace didn't happen.
If that happens, that would be
it's happening right now. What are you talking about?
What? But I don't think I just see it differently. Like if we hit something that violates or actually goes against the Constitution, gets picked up by the courts. You have people moving fast that aren't reading this and that. If something violates it, stop it, take it to court, figure it out, and we'll go from there.
And then you have the vice president actively saying, well, then tell the courts to go fuck yourself and do it anyways. Come on.
If you have the courts going against the Constitution, which there's some rough judges out there that look like they're still playing a losing game.
Oh, it did happen a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Popeyes.
I signed on Tuesday.
I went to Popeyes a couple of months ago, and I got the order receipt, and it actually did say order 66.
I'm with John. Definitely a normal reaction. There's a lot of stuff like as somebody who's never been a fan of government, the people on the right, the people on the left, I don't trust or like any of them. There's a lot of stuff that even I have to stop and go and look into and look up, because it's definitely a time where you can't read headlines. Headlines won't give you anything. You can't listen to CNN or Fox News. You won't get anything. If you're not actively stopping and pulling up like executive orders and full on papers, you're not getting any information. And the good example is yesterday, it was signed to officially dissolve the Department of Education. I come from a family of educators. The Board of Education, all that has been like, my wife is actively going through testing and stuff to get into the teaching field. And one of the biggest concerns was like, if we do away with the Federal Department of Education, what about like Title I stuff? What about the children with disabilities that are all protected under that? And the headline reads like, and the announcement at the press conference was, I've officially signed the executive order to dissolve the Department of Education, send it back to the states. But then when I pull up the executive order, when I pull up the executive order and read it, it is what it is, but the details matter. They're actively dissolving it now, sending it back to the states. Pell Grant, Title I schools with low funding and low income areas, as well as the programs for kids with disabilities, will be actively protected and spared completely staying under the Department of Education to the last minute till they're reallocated to a new department that will handle them. So they're not going anywhere. They'll change to a different department and still be taken care of.
Maybe the department may still stay around for that, for the very scaled down, simply because it's a cabinet level position that was created by Congress. And as I recall, I think that there's some element of it where only Congress can actually be the ones who actually completely blow it up.
Yeah. Because you can't break the Constitution and just cut it off. You have to have Congress to sign off on that. But that's the point that I was making is if anybody takes anything at face value right now, you're misinformed.
I always make a point of reading I get the news where I read multiple sources from anything, CNN, Fox, and like Sky News and France 24, and both in both sides in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. and getting multiple perspectives on things, because unfortunately, for now 45 years, since deregulation, the notion of a free press has been a corrupted free press, simply because of deregulation, that that the voices are really only one or two that controlling every single news outlet within the United States. So it is a press
even the magazines, even the actual magazines and papers that the news we watch pretty much gets their stuff from magazines and papers where real journalism takes place, and they're even owned just by like two companies. There's like 50 magazines owned by two companies that have two different mandates.
It's a super massive issue that has, I think, really allowed a lot of the erosion of this and the split.
Isn't Sky News the Australian news? If it is, they're freaking fantastic.
No, Sky News is UK.
Because I just keep thinking about this lady with black hair and this little smirk.
Yeah, they're UK.
Yeah, I don't know. I was watching Sky News though the other night, man. Whoever it was, this lady who was hosting it, she was speaking like this throughout every time and now we got to go to what's going on in Parliament, and it's like, why are you whispering to me? Sound off, speak up.
Like that character Will Forte in SNL.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of Sky News Australia.
Oh yeah, there is a Sky News Australia.
Yeah, I get a lot of Sky News Australia popping up in my feed. They're fun. It seems like there's a lot.
You love Mad Spidey that much.
It's the accent, man. It's the accent. Like I give you grief. I poke fun at you and just like tease you about the whole you're actually a red coat kind of thing. But I love the Australian stuff, man. I get it, Rob. I get it.
I don't know, Flash Ray, if it was I honestly don't know who it was. It was just, I just know it was a young Indian lady. But or at least I assumed as such. I shouldn't assume. But anyways,
this is an assumption. I don't know why people would think that the people who say with their mouths they want to get rid of the Department of Education want to get rid of the Department of Education. And they do, but it doesn't. I think the disconnect is when you say you want to get, if I say I want to get rid of my car, that doesn't mean I'm going to drive it off a cliff. That doesn't mean I'm going to go put it in a crusher. That doesn't mean I'm going to leave it in a parking lot with the door open and the keys running and abandon it. When I say I want to get rid of my car, what I mean is I'm going to go trade it in for something else or sell it. So when you want to get rid of the Department of Education, that doesn't mean you're going to literally put an M80 firecracker in it and walk off. There's more details to things.
Usually,
you get the point, Rob.
But I get it. But unfortunately, some of the flashy news points and whatever that of what's been coming out, when you hear somebody say I'm going to get rid of something, you literally almost do think that right now. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're just fire everybody,
dude. If that and the great example, wait a bit the shock value of everything that's happening, and it's just, all this has done is just spotlighted how terrible our news outlets are across the board without exception. Because think about it,
sensationalism.
U.S. aid was like the quote unquote the hotbed of problems and stuff, right? It still exists.
I don't know that it was, but if you say so, I don't know.
What? Well, that's
I honestly don't know. I never looked into everything. I know the thing. I know the hit points that certain news outlets, certain groups. Hold on. I said I know that certain groups have pinpointed a few minor things that they or a few items that they want to call out and say, look, this is the problematic stuff. Out of what they do as a whole, I have no idea. But I'm ready to move on from this. This is not what I wake up for this early in the morning for, anyways. I'm sorry, I probably brought it up to begin with.
This is exactly why I jumped on, and now you want to change.
Go ahead.
No,
hold on. Well, but I'll leave you with, if you do get curious, Rob, just the easiest thing to know is NGOs are funneled through USAID. That's all you need to know.
Who? What?
Okay, so there's a level of knowing this stuff and having to look into it. So if you're going to look into it, look into the NGOs are funneled through.
Okay, I thought you said something
USAID. Yeah,
BINGO.
If you want to start,
that's what I keep hearing.
Like, all you have to do is start there. That's the spot.
NGO means not going out.
Oh,
but I like going out.
Good morning, all
times.
I go out tomorrow.
Good morning, Lou. What it do?
True believers. It's Joe Boy Free King. I almost put Free Pimp C. Actually, Free Pimp C. I was this close.
Wow, that would have been something.
Yeah. That's a right throwback.
It's never gonna happen because he's dead.
He's He's free as hell now, bro.
Lou, look like you had a fantastic week meeting up with the family.
That was, dude. Actually, yeah, dude. Like it's a once a year thing. So a couple times. But me visiting them in West Virginia was pretty cool. And I can't tell you, like, my mom next to me going through bins, like that was amazing. Sifting through stuff. And then she's telling me, like, do you have this? Do you have this? Like, yeah, I have that. Yeah, I have that. Then I'm like, stop for a minute. You idiot. Your mom is next to you. This never happens. And I stopped and I'm getting better about the camera thing, dude. I'm getting better. I was like, I got a video forever that mama back bin digging with me, bro. That was so cool.
I have some good memories doing that from time to time with my mom. You know, having grown up in the hobby, my mom was back then dollar bin diving with my dad before I was even born. Wow. So when I was at Heroes Con, when I met JR, it was a huge moment for me because his Spider-Man stuff is what it is, but he's a freaking legend in this industry. He's done stuff that most of us harken back to our childhood and look at dearly, except for DJ, because DJ's a real life piece of shit, but that's a different story for a different day. So when I met JR, I took an amalgam book, got it signed. Like I've never even put it up. It stays on my shelf so I can pull it and look at it from time to time. But I get done signing it. I think I got to call my mom. I voice call my mom. I'm like, I met him, And I walk back over there where she could see him. And he looks over, he goes, talking to your mom? I said, yeah. He ends up taking the phone and talking to my mom, and she's like talking to him like he's just one of her students at school. You know, you having fun? You meeting a lot of good people? And I'm over here like teared up, like this is amazing.
Wow,
that's dope.
But he's good people, man. Hold on, Izzy.
Look at that. Here. There you go.
I love it. I love his store. His store rules.
Look at that.
I handed the phone to JR to speak to my mom, and there was nothing but silence.
Oh, DJ, don't do that to me, boy.
Check out that image.
No me rompe.
Oh, snap.
Look at that.
Rompe tu culo.
Oh, yeah. Let me see that one again, Izzy?
Yeah, sure. Look at that.
That's awesome.
That's a man looking for caramel corn. I'm glad everyone's here. I'm glad we see Punisher. He made the thumbnail. Let's go. Louis, I don't know how long we have you for, but tell us how much you love this episode of Daredevil. Episode 4, Caramel Corn or Be Punished. I think that was the name.
I did because the actor who played the fiddle faddle guy, he looked really the part. Like he looked
what, a criminal? What are you saying? He looked like
I'm telling you, like even his eyes, he looked like a homeless guy just like trying to survive. And I was like, wow.
I object.
Like, this is beautiful.
Yeah, DJ hangs out with those guys. That wasn't it.
This is the only reason why I object. As it was playing, and I was just like, how is this guy like borderline homeless criminal and his beard is taped up perfect.
He's clean.
He stole the razor, man. You didn't know that part.
He's articulate. He's confident. He's clean. He's
Dude,
homeless.
man, they got the caramel corn, but they didn't catch the razor. He was like,
Yo,
there's nothing wrong with him being articulate. People find themselves in positions all the time where circumstances could occur. It doesn't mean just because you're homeless on the street doesn't mean that you're an incoherent, babbling idiot.
I'm glad you grabbed onto that one point, Rob. That's fantastic. You did
the dessert line hit me, man. The dessert line really hit me.
Yeah.
What was
like? He's like, I just want a dessert, man.
Yeah, I didn't get hung up on his well-shaven beard. I'm sorry, I missed that.
I didn't even think. I didn't even know.
I think it was important to the conveyance of the story and the message.
Yeah, I didn't even know that he was a homeless character.
Well, because he lost all his. Yeah, because he got no benefits, no nothing. Like, of course, he's been trying to get back in the system. Like, I don't know all about that stuff, man. So it's got to be really crazy for them. So I think they shine something that a lot of people don't really see a light. And of course, you're like, oh, it's friggin' this, and to go to jail for fiddle faddle, bro. I was like, whoa, man. Like he said it too. It's like you're spending more money to keep me in here than to pay for my
freedom. He wasn't going to jail for fiddle faddle. He was going to jail for
for
its 12th crime. And if they give him probation, he's proven he doesn't show up to probation. And you're not allowed to steal shit just because you're up to 12. Like the whole concept of, oh, it costs this much to keep him there, and it only costs this much in property. Who gives a fuck? There's not a dollar amount associated with as long as you steal under this amount, it's okay.
Yeah. It's a misdemeanor crime. It's a misdemeanor crime that you're going to put somebody in jail for 31 days on.
I get that it's a misdemeanor crime, but it was his 12th crime in a 25-page jacket.
It's still that's what I'm still a misdemeanor. It's a cite. If it's me doing it, they're citing me and releasing me.
They did that. Hold on, Izzy. They did that, Rob. It's his 12th time.
Okay.
They did that. It's his 12th time. They even said probation. We gave him probation the 11th time he did it, and he refuses to report. So this is a man who wants to steal whatever he wants to steal whenever he wants to. And if you give him probation, he won't even be accountable to show up. And
I don't think the thing was that he
doesn't trust the system.
It wasn't that he wants to. The conveyance was, to some degree, that he feels, and not saying that it's his right or anything else, but he feels by circumstances that he has no choice.
No, he has a choice.
That's desperate. Desperation.
He stole this because he felt entitled to what he described a nice dessert. He described the caramel corn as a delicacy, as a nice dessert that time to time I'm entitled to. Dude wasn't hungry.
Yeah, it wasn't even like he stole bread or eggs or milk. Like
this individual occurrence. Yes, I get that. We don't know all the other stuff. We don't know, are all the other things on his rap sheet also small misdemeanor crimes like this?
Or we don't know. I'm assuming
we don't know.
Exactly. I'm assuming they're all misdemeanor petty stuff.
And if that's the case, if that's the case, then I think the notion isn't necessarily to say it's okay to do this. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely not. But I think it's important understanding how these things can be a cascading issue on how, depending upon how we treat them. If there's a view of they can't afford a lawyer. If the public defender just says, we're going to cop a deal, get you this, how does that potentially affect if somebody is trying to get themselves do the right thing, trying to get themselves out? How can that cascade and cause a situation to downward spiral because of a desire to be hard on crime blanketly without necessarily and I don't think there's not a right answer. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
yes. It's white sugar is the devil. That's the answer.
It's a super complex thing. So I think that the notion isn't to say that this is okay or this isn't okay, but it's just to sit there and understand that there's a lot of complexities and there are things that happen within the system at times, which you go, yeah, okay, I get it. This is 11 times. And so, dude's a little bit, I think, out on his limb to sit there and think, no, I should just get the walk on it. At the same time, understanding that there's a system that can, for some individuals, can trap them and give them no out, where they feel that they have no choice.
So here's the next question. Next question is, this is an individual who actually has a cycle and a pattern to continuously to do the same thing over and over and try not to get the consequence. He tries to avoid the consequences, but the consequences keep coming after him. Where does the system come in to help him not do that? That's where his problem lies. Is like, you're just gonna put me in jail so I could come out to do this again, because that's what he's gonna do. Where's the part with, like, you know what? Let's get you a job. You know what? Let's get you this. Well,
we've established that he's a well-smoking, capable, confident individual. He can go get a fucking job.
I think
it's just that easy. I know my son's been trying for a year and a half, and it's
the whole thing. There's programs out there to help people that way. I know them for a fact.
Yeah, I don't know how it is where you live, but here, like, there's been, since COVID, there is a job boom, like job availability boom since COVID. Like, a lot of people just didn't go back to work.
It's not the same for like inner cities, metropolitan.
Well, that's why I said here. I can't speak to there, but here, like, so many people didn't go back to work.
You know what? Oh shit, your beer is taped up nicely. What's your deal? I think the whole issue with the Daredevil thing is just that they had said in that specific instance with the dude, it was his 12th time. He has a history. If they would have just said, hey, he did it again, I think that whole issue about shining a light on the system would have worked better for me. Once you said it was the 12th time and it has 25-page rap sheet, I was just like, oh shit. Like,
you know what my brain did as soon as they said the number? I'm like, and you don't get
give him the chair.
No, you don't get caught every time. You don't get caught 1 in every 10 times. You get caught once in a blue moon. And this guy's been caught 12 times. This dude's
he's diabetic from all the candy corn.
I agree.
You saw his eyes.
He's got to have the picture in the bodega. You know what I mean?
It distracts from the message, which I think is what they're trying to. I think what they're trying to put in there, and I agree 100%. The number issue totally distracts, and it becomes a red herring that makes it like.
Yeah, they took the message and they lessens
the impact of what they're trying to do, which is they're trying to build Matt to see, he had abandoned being a daredevil and putting his faith in the system and seeking justice from within the system. They're showing him examples of justice not being served. His client getting off, but then getting immediately executed. Here's this guy who's trying to do this, and he's getting days in jail for $25 worth of corn. Meanwhile, the cops,
if it was kettle corn, it would be worth the steal and the 25 days.
Meanwhile,
that's real.
And then of course
you get a prize.
The big thing that's a piece of it that bugs me is but they're showing it, and here's the cops taking it, and nothing happens to them, and here's this, and nothing happens to them. Right, showing injustice is trying to drive, which is trying to pull Matt back into being Daredevil, right?
Yeah, I completely get what, like, every attempt that they made to tell some of them are, like, look at the message, look what we're trying to show you. All of that was there. Like, I see what you're trying to show me. You're doing a piss poor job at showing me, because while you're showing me, you're also showing me that the system has failed the taxpayers. Like, you did a terrible job. You had nobody who's ever had any experience with what they were trying to convey attached to conveying it in the show. You can tell that everyone who touched and wrote this have only ever heard about these concepts from like talking heads and panels, and it was shit.
No, to your point about the taxpayer, that's what we were talking about in the chat. Like, it totally highlighted how the taxpayer gets boned in the justice system, the police department eating the Cameron corn.
Taxpayers are paying for Matt to fight for this guy.
The public defender, which public defenders, their job is not to get you off. Their job is to get you to plead. So Matt was doing his deal.
Yeah.
Like, public defenders are not there to get you off.
Speaking of having a beard well tapered, holy cow! Look at that. Woof.
What's in your pockets?
It looks like a man who started using some product.
I did like the cameo appearance of Wolverine in this week's episode. What did y'all think of Wolverine's cameo?
Tell us more.
When he found the bullet and sniffed his way to Frank Castle.
Oh yeah, that was pretty awesome.
All right, so time out. I saw when you said
senses are heightened, so he should have that sense.
Sniffed his way 4 blocks underground to Frank Castle.
He knew where Frank was. Is the
exactly.
He knew I know, but I went back and watched again. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this motherfucker's sniffing his way to Frank. I found a bullet that Frank didn't touch and sniffed my way to Frank.
No, so he just saw because he could still see with his sonar. I don't know. He's half dolphin.
You could feel the Punisher logo on it.
Yeah, so he felt the. And
then he can. He actually can.
Yeah, and that's why he
stormed. To blame for this.
Yeah, that's why he put the stick down, and he was just like he beeline straight to Frank.
He bloodhound straight to.
He beeline straight to Frank because he knew where he was. That's why he put his walking stick down, and he was just like this fucking guy. But anyway, you mentioned.
Yeah, I know he's got the sense. I know he can smell, but that shit was hilarious. Come on.
He was just trying to save the episode.
I know he does. Like, God,
we
that
totally took that the different ways. Like I did not think about that at all.
Like, bro, just walk. Like you're Daredevil. You don't have to do that. You can smell it fine. What's a deep breath gonna do for you? Just keep moving.
For me, he was smelling because he found the shell casing. It could have been yesterday's shell casing, the shell casing from 3 years ago. So he was just smelling to see if the gunpowder residue was still there, and it was still hot.
I just like the fact that he managed to reenact the scene perfectly. I'm like, oh, this is where it's at.
Yeah, the bottle rolls the exact same place shape that the shell did. Oh, yeah,
if you ever held a shell casing in a small little bottle, exact same weight and size.
Yeah, exactly. And made out of the same thing.
What do we know?
Yeah, the bottle isn't off balance at all.
The street has to be paved in the 1400s first.
Hey, it's called television, folks.
Now I know every time I see a little bottle on the floor, that's a shell.
It's called the suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, I burned all my.
But in the comic books, you know what? Things aren't actually real.
They burned out all my suspension of disbelief in the first 30 with the stupid caramel corn court scene.
Yeah, shout out to caramel corn.
Was that harassment that he was doing with the court order, the court clerk or something?
What is it?
You know the lady that he was talking to? I don't even know what her role was.
She was the ADA.
Harassment.
Yeah, the ADA, right? Was that like a harassment?
That was called flirting, dog.
Yeah. That's harassment in other places.
Izzy, you're the problem when you see someone flirting and think, isn't that harassment? You need to sit down, buddy. Man. Sit on your hands for a minute.
Did she say no?
Izzy has a part in Snow White.
If she said,
Daredevil.
Let me go back to my training. Did she
say? They shouldn't have turned down Cracker Jack. That was way better. That's my favorite.
No, at least there's a prize in size. You know what I'm saying?
Cracker Jill.
Look at this comment. This is great. He should have his nose pinned most of the time. Then he can dramatically take something out of his nose. Or can you imagine him showing up, getting ready to square off with a fight? Someone like, who are you without the shield? And he just pulls out a paper clip, it pinches his nose. Let's go. One more sentence down. I'm still going to be
this Karate Kid.
I can do this 3/4 of a day.
Yeah.
The one thing that I said in one of the chats, the one thing that's really drives me the craziest about the show, because I'll look past a lot of different things, but the one thing that's just really driving me is this notion that every single police officer in New York is portrayed as being bad.
Part of the gang.
Everybody's corrupt.
It's not that there's a few officers that are part of this, but this is the entire police force.
That's very toned up writing,
and that is kind of heavy-handed, and I think portrays a wrong message.
Yeah, I don't think it's the entire police force. I think it might be the majority of police in that precinct. And there's been times
they're only highlighting bad ones. We haven't seen a straight.
No, but like the whatchamacallit, like because Cherry retired, the commissioner, like it was once Frank Castle became mayor, he's just like, yo, fuck this, me and my guys are out. So there's like good cops and stuff. But that's kind of historically accurate. There was legit a precinct, and there's documentaries about it, where the entire precinct was corrupt. And everybody, it was I think in Brooklyn. Izzy, you might have heard of it. And all
how long ago was it?
Arrested. This was in the 80s.
I think I heard of it.
Well, to Rob, I don't remember much. The precinct that's sitting there that Matt's going back and forth with isn't even necessarily the same precinct that the beat cops that arrested the guy are. You're going to the same court, but you're not in the same cop. Like different precincts and people would get arrested to the same court, but every single cop they portray, they they go out of their way to portray them as corrupt. Beat cops, detectives, all the way up. That's all that they've shown.
Yeah, the only one that we're not even sure about is the commissioner.
Yeah, but I'm gonna pause right there. So all the cops that were in the courtroom, they weren't showing that they were all corrupt. Some were justifiably mad that one of their own was killed. The only ones that were corrupt were the ones that had the Punisher tattoo on their neck. But some of those cops in the what do you call that, the bullpen or whatever
I get that we have it.
That's a good point.
Just them sitting there doesn't necessarily mean they are.
At least this would give them the driving force of like why cops are so like spirited with their job, like just the existence of superheroes, invasions of aliens and stuff.
Oh, because it's fucking Disney. You got to be heavy-handed.
But I mean,
like, maybe it was a scroll. It's like,
I'm just saying that,
like Rob gets his.
That was a funny line, though.
You're right in the fact that technically there's been a lot of police in the background that weren't necessarily shaking somebody down or doing something, right? But they've just been a background character for a moment, no different than somebody else walking down the street not committing a crime. We haven't seen a single instance of any active police officer in there that's done anything on the up and up. The closest thing is this commissioner that's retiring, saying that he doesn't want to work with Fisk. But we don't.
He's then easily blackmailed.
But yeah, but exactly. But then it's okay. Never mind. It just. But
he said, "Be careful what you wish for." Though
I understand that there's a lot of great. I just think that it's
messaging.
It's just a mess. I'm not happy with the way.
I totally understand that. I totally understand what you're saying. I think for me, it's also, it's story. So the story calls for it to have or showcase or highlight all the evil cops. So then when the good cop swoops in, it's going to be that more impactful.
I hope that that's the case.
Yeah, let's see that happen.
Yeah, it'll eventually happen. There'll be some good cops somewhere.
I don't think Disney knows what a good cop is.
That's true.
Oh,
yeah, the old Daredevil series.
Part of the
one cop that was good.
That's why Freaky.
That's all it takes.
Freaky Louie's going to show up in episode 8 as the one good cop in New York.
That's right, baby. It's like training day.
I've heard through the grapevine
from Florida
that this was the only Frank Castle appearance we're going to get in this season.
No.
In these first set of episodes, because with it being originally an 18 episode series, and they greenlit season 2 off the complete failing numbers of this show because they already had the 18 show thing rolling. So they just cut the long season 1 in half and split it to 2. So
I see what you mean.
I think in the first half here, that might be our only Frank. And because it's being portrayed to us as this is season 1 and season 2 is coming, really it's 1A and 1B.
Like Soprano season 6.
Yeah. Well, but, I know that this week
we do have Kamala Khan's dad guest starring in the next episode.
I love next her family.
Next week is 32 episodes.
So yeah, because they
got to make up for Kamala Khan.
They got to burn through the press of Kamala Khan's dad.
Yeah, that's my boy. I love.
Yeah, I love Kamala Khan's family.
I love her family. I love her family more than her.
So yeah, perfect time to have him show up. It's tax season. For those of you that remember the Marvel, remember the Marvels, all 7 of you might get that joke.
I like the Marvels.
I do not get that joke.
Me too.
Because it's a completely forgettable film, whether you like it or not.
Oh yeah.
But for those that don't remember, Kamala Khan's dad, during an alien battle fight in space, is sitting there explaining how to file your taxes to the guy on the goddamn space station. And
when they're shooting up
cat teleports, fucking stupid.
Oh, that's right.
Somebody has to understand the tax code.
Yeah,
that's
and there's never a wrong time to get to the bottom of it.
If anything, somebody who does might be a superhero.
Yes,
interstellar taxes.
Yo, speaking of Frank, that dude is next level acting, man. Like that show went so much higher. Like as soon as he showed up on screen, and then it dipped as soon as he got off screen.
He did his part. You were like really involved in it, and then he was gone, and you're like, okay, I'm done.
It was one of those situations where it looks like they filmed this like show-stopping moment, and they have it. Like, all right, we got this interaction with Matt and Frank. Where the fuck do we put it? We have nowhere to put this now that we've done the rewrites and all right, wedge it right here. It'll work right here. because that scene was forced in there, and contextually it felt so out of place, but it was so well done. Bernthal's a force. Like every word he says, you believe every single sentence.
I still hear him, Red.
Yeah. Nah, that killed me.
Say his name, Red.
Yeah, when he told me, like, I still hear him, tells me to get him on.
First honest thing you did.
Say his name, JB.
Yeah, boy. What old Foggy get, huh?
Yeah.
Woo,
he got luck.
boy.
Like, I found this bullet with your logo on it. And he's just like,
I can't front. Matt was like,
boys.
Yeah, I don't fucking care.
He's like, he's just there like,
go sniff another one out. Get out of here.
Yeah,
that was prime acting, man, right there.
You know, everyone's saying that Matt knew where Frank was the whole time, which he didn't. We can argue that some other time.
I disagree. He got fucking. He's half dolphin. Like he knows where people are.
Him walking into that room. If you got a good recollection of what was said, Louis. Do you remember what Matt said when he walked into the room?
The first thing he said to him.
Hello, Frank. How are you?
Nope. He looked around and said, "Nice place," because it was the first time he'd ever been there.
Oh, but that doesn't mean he doesn't know where he's at. Yeah, his location.
He knew where he was at.
Why? How? For what reason? Matt hasn't been doing anything Daredevil related for years. Everyone forgets there's a time jump here.
7 years.
This show isn't simply 4 episodes in.
I know where Mars is. If I go to Mars, I'm going to be like, nice planet. That doesn't.
You don't know where Mars is. You know Mars is in space. You couldn't point at Mars if your life depended on it.
Mars is up.
You know what's funny, DJ? If you went down, you'd be accurate right now. Because you should be pointing down, not up right now.
Look at Mars. It's right there.
I see it.
You know, Mars is in space that way right now.
Wow. You're trying to say Mars is in hell.
It's just the wrong time of day to point up to Mars.
I don't know about Georgia, but New York Mars?
New York Mars is up there watching it.
It's right outside the window, right by that entirely corrupt precinct.
There's this fun little star charts app where it has like the entire night sky, 360 degrees loaded in it, and it like GPS is your phone. So if you hold your phone up, like if you see Orion, you hold it up, Orion will be on your phone, and you can move around, and it mirrors exactly what it's looking at. But because like we're on a globe, if you point it down, you can see exactly the stars on the other side, stars, planet, and where they're at any time of day. It's pretty fun to see what the other side of the world's looking at when we're awake working.
Is that stars if you point it down, or is that like evil people being burnt?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's stars. I'm waiting on the update.
It's the same color.
just point down and watch it.
All I know, my favorite new song is "We Built This City on Rock and Roll."
Oh,
yeah,
God.
boy.
Oh man, they paid Starship good money this week.
Yeah.
Did they have to pay for it though when it was sung in Latvian? I don't know.
I was just like, come
on. That was enough to make Kingpin crack.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, remember last week when everyone was debating with me about Kingpin's trying to go straight and narrow, and I said, no, he's not. He's just the crime boss who won the mayorship. Fucking told y'all. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
So he's. I feel like. So at the end of the episode, when Daredevil,
tell me what you believe.
This is what I believe. I believe the children of the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
Hold on. Okay, stop right there because then you got to pay for monetization. Start again. Now you can start again.
With the voice of an angel over there.
Yes, I believe the whole
Kingpin.
The whole thing is about duality, right? So Daredevil like dipped his toe back into Daredevil land when he took out his his baton with the rope and all that.
Yeah.
And then Kingpin was just like, all right, I'm gonna dip my toe back in by torturing Adam.
He didn't kill him. He didn't delete Adam.
I need more context.
He let him grow his hair out.
Did he just go get him and put him in the cage?
No, he's been there.
Wait.
Yeah, his hair indicates
DJ.
The long hair.
Tell me about dipping your toes back in. Did you have to go pick him up from his garage band tryout?
So what I believe in this country, he went to go get him after the whole thing with Heather. Not after he sold
or was it Funyuns?
When Heather, the therapist, when Dr. Melfi Light when she brought up
Dr. Melfield
and Dr. Melfield, like, when she brought up the whole thing about Adam, so that triggered him. He was just like, "Oh yeah, Adam.
I gotta pay him a visit now.
Yeah, we need to go put this guy in this nice toy.
Guys, I gotta go. My real job's gonna start here, parenting. But there is a couple more things. I did jump on because I was super happy to know that some rights are protected with the, specific things, dude. Like I can't tell you how amazing. Like my son's teacher, dude. I can't tell you how freaking awesome. Like teachers are freaking the real superheroes.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, of course. And then I don't know if you guys seen that. I think Harley Quinn cartoon. I think they had a season finale or series finale. Dude, and it was actually really beautiful, and their title was "The Mess Is the Point," and it's talking about life. The mess is the point. And I was like, "Wow, it's fucking beautiful, baby," because my house is a mess. But I love you guys to death, man.
Rob, is the show
I cannot wait, man. Like you guys are.
I don't think
that's
I've
my
seen
next thing.
This last season, so I'm behind.
All right, Lou, I appreciate you hopping on, brother.
Yeah, goons. Yeah, I love y'all, man. Like you guys are the best people in the world. Please don't ever stop being yourselves, baby. Yeah.
Love you, dude.
I can't do the thing with the phone. Oh, I love you, Daniel.
Brother John says the whole point is they are both living two lives. Facts. Fisk is trying to be legit, showing forgiveness to his aide. Kingpin lying to Vanessa and having Adam locked up in the basement. Yeah, I have no debate on he's trying to actively do this job, but for criminal gains is my point. He's not trying to what's it called, walk the straight and narrow. No point in the show at all is Kingpin trying to be legal legit. He's trying to he's not trying to be a better person. He's not trying to do. He just wants the job.
Yeah,
we built this city. Look, we built this city on rock and roll, bro. Yeah, I love you guys. Dang it.
Take easy, freaky.
Don't you remember?
I don't
never.
I don't see anything in there where he's trying to do anything for criminal gain necessarily, but he's trying to do it for reputation and legacy is what it seems to be what his intent is. He wants to, he genuinely, seems like he wants to do something, but there's the battle of who he is in reality, how he was brought up, what he expects to be able to get done versus the reality of how government works. And
that doc scene, right? How great was that? I love that scene where like, go get it done. They're like, oh, we can't do that. We have to go through the board. It's like, all right, go reach out to him. All right, wait, we can't go through them. We have to go through the committee to get the board. All right, we'll go do that. Well, we have to get put on their calendar. We'll go do that. Highlighting the reason to destroy it all. I'm just kidding.
Right.
So to that point, I agree. I don't think he's trying to be a saint.
Yeah, it's
in any way. I don't think he's trying to be a saint. I don't see that. I see him trying, like you said, trying to be a figure that someone could look up to. He's trying to do things a certain way, but he's not a saint. He's never trying to be a saint. All I know, he's mayor garbage to me.
My point is he's actively trying to be the mayor, correct? And he's also actively still the kingpin. He has not shed the kingpin.
Oh, she's the kingpin.
She's the kingpin.
She's not shit.
My Vanessa. She is the kingpin as I am trying
watching
make
her
be
a crime boss is non-existent. We haven't seen it since the beginning.
Why, Mark? Because she's a woman.
We're just watching her complain and talk about finding clay at a yard sale, and it's beautiful and
getting boned by Adam.
Who the fuck has ever been to a yard sale and found a nice clay?
He just wants to.
There's mad nice clays in fucking.
What does that even
depends on where the yard sale was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was Bedminster, New Jersey. I'm sure it was a pretty nice yard sale.
With nice clay.
Rob there's some yard sales in Cali with nice clay, with nice Play-Doh, with antique pots, like all kinds of shit.
Was the clay already formed or is it just raw clay?
You can have both.
Rob, when she said that, it's like finding a nice clay at a yard or an estate sale. I pictured Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore immediately. Well,
as one should.
As one should. Love. And that's why I went 6 to midnight.
Yeah, and that's why dude has to go in the cage. That's why.
You know, Legion, when you just sang that, all I could think of is, I'm sorry, so sorry
that
my love
Retro, have you watched the new Daredevil show, any?
No, I don't got cable.
That's a good thing because it's on a streaming
service. It's not on cable. It's on Disney, so you're all right.
I don't have that either.
Well, you're dodging a bullet. It's got some good parts. It's got some
dodging the bullet.
But you're not missing nothing. Is the point?
But because I got one right here.
Brian.
It's fake, but still.
Yeah.
Oh, snap! The stream just got shut down.
Yeah.
Are we still on?
Yeah. Don't do that.
Just so you know, what that's actually a 1950 prop gun. Toy gun.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Well, the YouTube algorithms don't know that.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I love you guys, but the YouTube, you need to get your rain checked.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Batman 2.
Batman. Oh. Harvey. Batman.
I think I might go to this. There's a little con on Sunday here in Fremont. I might go.
One day con.
Yeah, a little one. It's a 5 hours at an Elks Lodge.
Oh, that's dope. Get in and do work.
Does sound little.
Here in the middle of the Bay Area, something like that might be. I think might. It's not too far from me. I might trek over there because it's only like 15, 20 minutes maybe away. I think I might go over there and check it out. It's on $7 admission to get in, so it's be something different before I go to WonderCon the following week.
Is it in OhanaCon?
Yeah, it is.
Legion, since Ma'am just came out, I don't think Ma'am's met my little buddy. Madam, say hello.
Yes?
Say hello to my little friend.
Is that a chicken nugget from McDonald's?
Is that a potato?
Nugget?
Chicken nuggets.
That's a chicken nugget.
Is it a potato?
It's a it's a McNugget buddy from McDonald's.
Nugget,
yeah, they had all theirs, and they came with the different outfits and stuff you could put on.
This is a newer one though. They redid these a couple years ago, and his name, I don't care what they called him in the booklet. He is my ace up my sleeve, the man, the McNugget in my pocket. He is Larry McNugget.
Larry McNugget.
Larry McNugget. That's awesome.
Brian says that all the usual dealers are going to be at SACCon.
That's a
I'll pass on SACCon.
Marketing.
Yeah, I'm not driving up to Sacramento. That's that's over a 2-hour drive for me to get to Sacramento. As much as I love Brian, but it's an anime con to go see Brian and like 2 other comic book vendors.
They're not worth it. That's what you're trying to say.
It's not, especially when WonderCon is the following week. However, this one is just a little show at an Elks Lodge. I've not been to a small little itty bitty one like this in a while. It's on a Sunday, which works with my schedule. It's only like 10-15 minutes away. Oh, it's not an anime con. Okay, whatever.
I mean, he says that, Brian, but you have proof that it's not.
Isn't it called Sac Anime Con? I mean, I don't know.
Can I just say something? I'm gonna
Brian,
say
I don't know. Can you?
Brian, he just proved where you are on the priority list.
All I can say is to Brian, show us the facts.
Yeah, show us the facts.
I mean,
show me the comics.
I'm just sad that I don't get to go. I haven't been able to see Brian in a while because he's always got good stuff for me to buy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he misses me because I always spend money with him.
He said this one's just called Sacramento Con, so this might be slightly. That's like that Augusta Con, Stooge. He does the Augusta Con, the Augusta Anime Con, and he does them like every few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went to Sacramento Con, and I do remember I went to that last year, and it's okay. I picked up some decent books there. So yeah, I mean it's good. But okay, good. I'll see you at WonderCon. Are you tabling somewhere? That'd be great.
Jeremy Adams will be at WonderCon this year. Me and Paul had him on last night. He said he's getting. He'll be at WonderCon.
The WonderCon is driving me bonkers because they don't have a clean. Most conventions you go to them or you go to their website stuff and there's like a list of who's going to be there from creators' contents, and usually it's sorted then also by comic versus voice actors and whatever else, and you can figure out who's going to be there, so I know what books to bring to get signature stuff. WonderCon, they have like their special guests, which are like the people that I guess they're going to bring. They're bringing out as their key people. Everybody else is just listed as Artist Alley, and it's mixed. And it's mixed with all the people who are like the local artist who's got a table and the big name artist got a table, and it's just in one list, and it's like mixed up with like the art of such and such and this and that. And
well, they got it up now, so the list is up now.
I
know the list, but it's not separated out by here's all the comic creator contents. You've got to go through this list of 100 and something names and try to. You need to know which ones are the ones.
Gotcha. Doesn't really break down
It makes it difficult to find the content creator that you don't know off the top of your head, to be able to make sure you're prepared for them. Instead, only the names that are the ones that you go like, oh, okay, yeah, I know John Boy, so the art of John Boy Myers, I got it. But it's
David Mack's going to be there.
I get it. And certain names and pop out, but there's a lot more names I don't know than names I do.
I'm banned from the actual SatCon over a misunderstanding about the focus of the convention and an unfortunate choice in cosplay.
By the way, Legion, I wanted to tell you something since we're talking convention. But first, before I do that, madam, with all due respect, that's a McNugget. That's a potato.
That's a potato. Okay. Wow. All right. I see you.
That's the OG potato right there.
Nice callback, dog.
Just for the sake of argument, potato.
And potato.
Let's call the whole thing off.
Okay, anyway.
Now that's a potato.
No, that's Bob.
Yo, that you should be flashing that kind of stuff, madam, in the show.
Potato, that's a potato.
Oh, I thought. That's a potato.
Has he got a Band-Aid on it?
No, it's a sticker. I just put all my extra stickers on this rock here. So.
Is that an egg sticker?
Oh, that's a rock that you painted?
That's a rock that I painted to look like a potato. Cool.
It would have been amazing if you said, yes, it's a Band-Aid, and the potato's name is Nelly. Like, that would have been amazing.
I would have rather
This is the left eye potato.
Legion, I would have been like, it's not just a boulder, it's a rock.
I had painted this and I was going to leave it out when I was hiking, with something underneath it, some message or something, and just so someone would be like, oh my God, what is that?
That is so messed up. So someone that gets lost in the woods and is starving, it's there for 30 days, and then he comes across this baked potato in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Leroy, man.
He kills himself, I'm sure.
That's got to be Leroy, man. It's like, you say this is why I got to steal the cattle corn.
Wow. All I can think of is someone took a bite of that, they take a bite like, oh, a potato.
I don't know who would pick it up and put it in their mouth and not know the second they grabbed it. The density and hardness of this says I should not just bite into it.
Hold on. The original thing I was going to say earlier.
That's great advice, Rob. That's great advice.
The original thing if I lived in a cartoon world, I get it. It's total payoff.
The original thing I was going to say earlier, plus, I wanted you guys to say hello. Radar of the Cosmos. That's my boy.
What's happening?
He's a friend of mine. Also, a retro. He's too a retro gamer.
He's a friend of yours, but not a friend of ours.
Guys, I got to bounce.
This
guy a friend of ours?
All right, Izzy.
Izzy.
Are you willing to share his friendship? Is what Rob is asking.
No. Actually, I was using a different set of vernacular. He's a friend of
ours.
Friend of ours.
Yeah.
This
thing that we do.
Yeah, a friend of mine is a friend of yours. If you want.
There we go.
That's the same.
Hey, Legion. Speaking of that, of what I was going to say earlier, I know a convention that my foster mom went to. It's I wonder how to pronounce this. Yeah, forgive me, I'm bad reading, but Katsucon 2025. Katsucon?
Haven't heard of that one. That sounds like an anime convention to me.
Like
it's not. It sounds like it, but there's a lot more to it than just cosplay, There's booths with comics. There's
booze. You say
booth.
Oh, booth. Damn it! I liked booze in comics.
You're making me sad for all baked potatoes. I hope Stephanie is happy.
You want to hear something? You want to hear something funny? No, I mean it's not funny, but
I only want to hear funny things. Go, DJ, go.
Because I'm obviously my food choices are notorious, or my lack of food choices are notorious.
That's more well established. Yes,
I had a baked potato for the first time like last year.
Whoa! Way to put yourself out there.
No, I have questions now.
I found it while I was hiking and I ate it. It happened to not be a rock.
What did you think of this baked potato you had?
A true story. I'm not embellishing for the sake of entertainment. True story. So I had the baked potato. And it just plain, just like a hot ass potato, and then with salt. I love
no butter.
No butter. I loved it, and for that entire week, I just ate baked potato. That was my dinner, just a baked potato.
It's carved
I would do
it.
So this potato, do you happen to know a variety of potato that you are consuming?
Baked.
I know that's how it was prepared. I know that it was prepared that way.
No, you're not.
Was it a russet? Was it a Yukon Gold? Was it a red potato? Was it?
Oh shit! My internet just went out. Oh snap!
Because I mean, I can understand eating like a Yukon Gold without butter because they are buttery in their own flavor profile.
No, it was a regular Idaho potato.
A russet. Idaho is the state of citizens. Doesn't make there's different varieties of potatoes grown in Idaho.
I feel like I'm being judged on my potato choices.
Yes.
Actually, you're being judged on your potato knowledge. So let's get it right.
Now, if it's like the traditional, if it was a potato that looked similar to Madam's Rock, where it was large and dark brown, looks like this. It's a russet potato.
Band-Aids.
That's not just a russet potato. That's a rough russet potato.
Yeah.
But
so it looks similar to that, but without the white stuff.
We'll take you to the place, man. We'll get you one of those great big bakers. You know what you got to DJ. If you ever go to, you won't. Never mind.
Yeah, I won't.
Okay.
I won't.
What's so funny is that's so accurate. Like, the defeat is real.
I was going to say, like, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're eating at a Dickie's barbecue pit restaurant.
I wouldn't even go there based on the name.
You would
like, are those really sausages? No, I'm not.
No. You get their great big bacon.
Oh yeah, the worst thing that could happen.
Hold on, I want to hear about this Dickie's. Hold on.
You get this great. They have a meal item. It's the great big baker or something. You get the big baker potato and you have them loaded up with either pulled pork or brisket. And other toppings and stuff on it, man. It is just fabulous, sir. But I digress.
No,
you would never eat it.
Let me get that potato and stuff it with brisket. Ugh.
That sounds really
good. I'm sure he would love to stuff with brisket.
Yeah, stuff your brisket in him.
That's right.
I've heard Mr. Potato loves getting stuff with meat.
In college, I remember going to the cafeteria and they you come up with all kinds of gross things in the cafeteria for kids to eat. Mm-hmm. But they had a baked potato and they'd put refried beans on it.
The beans.
And then some meat, some ground beef or whatever, and then sour cream and salsa and cheese.
Taco burritos, yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Taco Tuesday. By the way, madam, when I first saw your potato, the Band-Aid situation that's on it, I thought it was like a fried egg.
I thought that was an egg too. I legit thought that was an egg.
Yeah.
Is that butter though?
It's sour cream. I'm a big sour cream lover.
The yellow
sour cream, butter, chives.
Yeah, gotcha.
No offense.
I thought when she grabbed it, I thought it was a real
chives.
potato with breakfast
green onions.
No offense. I can't have sour cream.
Just scallions.
It could be scallions. Yeah, they're all similar.
I love sour cream. I just can't have it because it really messes with my stomach.
That's fair.
Oh, the one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
you first.
No.
But
no.
So I have an announcement. I have an announcement that I practically announced on Old Wolves and I think other panels. Yesterday, my brothers.
Yesterday,
yes,
all my dreams were far away. Sorry.
Oh no, not even far away. This was a dream come true. Yesterday, my brothers and sisters of Retro Panels and Retroverse. This guy, yes, this guy paid $2 for a lottery ticket and came out with 200.
Nice.
Oh, nice. That's good for a scratch off.
Here's the thing.
You know how many potatoes you could get with that?
I love potatoes. I got no way to cook them though. Just the microwave, and it's not as good in a microwave that it is on.
That's true.
But
That's awesome. Congratulations.
That's awesome.
But here's the thing: I wasn't expecting like to win a lot anyway. But like,
what up, MJ?
But like, I had gone into the store market basket looking like utter trash. My hair was like, for example.
It's kind of what my hair looks like right now.
I had been what is it called? There's a word for it. It's something of sleep. Not lactose intolerant. It's when you have lack of sleep. So
sleep deprived.
Narcolepsy.
Thank you.
Narcolepsy is the opposite.
Legion, thank you.
Narcolepsy, you got
deprivation makes life interesting. That's a quote from Henry Rollins.
No offense, madam. I appreciate the comment. I don't think I have narcolepsy though, but I appreciate concern. But Legion, thank you. I was sleep deprived.
Biggie just made me laugh. My bad.
No worries. But the day before I started working. The day before I had got the lottery ticket, You okay, buddy? Okay.
Yeah, I had a cough. I just didn't want to cough over you, so I put the mic.
Oh no, I'm not even talking about the fact that you had to move. I'm like, that was a pretty hefty cough. But anyway, the morning before, I got
a moderate cough. I wouldn't consider that hefty.
But anyway, I had worked the morning before on my YouTube and Twitch. The morning before the ticket situation yesterday, which is the day before yesterday, from 7 a.m. the day before yesterday till 3 a.m. yesterday on my Twitch and YouTube. I had gone to bed around 3 a.m. Had to wake up because we had to go shopping. It was Thursday. And then got this, so I'm like, you know what? Well, first we stopped at Dollar Tree, then got the market. I'm like, you know what? I got 2 $1 bills. F it. I'm going to go ahead and buy a ticket. I says, I don't think I'm gonna win anything, but let's ball. But
gotta be in it to win it.
But when I saw that I'd gotten the money back, so all right, if it's double, it's probably just a $2 sign, which means it's just $4. Scratches saw the 100. I'm like, wait a minute. I damn near had a heart attack in the store.
Which somebody would have called you out for the way you called Rob out for his cough. That's how it works.
Oh yeah.
But like, hey, are you okay? You're having a heart attack.
Oh, someone did. It was actually my housemate. He saw me damn near drop to the ground. He was like, "Are you okay, man?" I says, "I'm like Bill," and his name is Bill. I'm like, "Bill, get the hell over here." He's like, "What's going on?"
It's always a bill. It's always a bill.
Long story short, you got $200.
And I split half of it with Bill because he's helped me so much with mentally.
Nice.
So,
whoa! You took 50% of your winnings and you gave them to your friend.
Yeah,
make sure you declared that on your taxes.
A 74-year-old man.
That's amazing.
That doesn't make a difference. But your $200 winnings, besides giving $100 to Bill,
which causes heart attack.
Which is hard to stomach. No. But listen, what did you do with the other 100? Did you parlay that and go buy some more tickets with that $100?
No, I was gonna risk it. I was gonna risk it because even though I had good luck then, I know for a fact, knowing me, I would have shit luck afterwards. It would have been because my friend's like, okay, I'll buy something. He lost so bad.
Yeah.
Buy something to drink and have a good night.
Yeah.
Oh,
They must all be
dude.
winners now, huh?
Dude, look at this. I bought so much. So one of the drinks I gave to my adopted brother because he looked tired. I can't even
Give
grab
to
all
your
these.
dog.
Adopted brother.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you. I was like, wait a second. I don't think you should do that.
I think if I gave it to a dog, I would not. We'd have a problem.
Yeah,
Again,
probably.
The drink I gave my bro was an energy drink. Don't give that to a dog.
I want to shout out.
Are those energy drinks?
Not just any energy drinks. You know how Logan Paul has Prime?
Yeah.
Yes. This is Dwayne The Rock Johnson's drink because he was. I can already tell you it was his because he was on the cardboard cutout, and it said Dwayne The Rock Johnson. All this came out with this.
There you go.
Zoa.
That's rocks.
I think they're like carbonated water based.
And then, of course, you know me, going to the Dollar Tree, gotta get my G fill. But this is a special kind. Look at this.
No woo. Come on.
Mega Man.
What a shout out special. The MJ Comics. I will be appearing on MJ Comics tomorrow.
I'll be skipping that episode.
Maris?
Rob, congratulations.
Yo, I legit have it up on the other screen. I hit that notification bell. I'm not even lying.
Hold
up, just in case you think I'm lying. Hold on. I legit have it right there.
We haven't talked about it in a few minutes. We kind of covered it before DJ
Potatoes?
and Adam got here. But wondering their thoughts on because some of them have a pulse despite their limited diets. But what are your thoughts on the JFK files?
JFK files?
Nothing's come out, right? Nothing's gonna come out, they said, right?
I know what they said. I know what you mean.
Shocking me, Rob, how much people in this community don't keep up. Yeah, that's what we know.
Files. I know they're gonna release them, and it's like no one's had the time to go through every single sentence or whatever in the whole thing because it's so large.
Wow, yeah,
it's a lot.
I mean,
I didn't hear there's any
no smoking gun that some people would want.
Yeah. But I heard about that. I got how the browser, Microsoft, they do a lot of news updates. I saw, I'm like, really? I'm like, huh. Well, there's not only your smoking gun, but there's also the leak. So.
Yeah, so no, I mean what I took away from the JFK files is that he indeed was assassinated.
Yes.
Wow. Did that blow your mind, that revelation?
Hold on. This just in. Wow. Hold on. We have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go for this breaking news. I'm going to go to our roving reporter in Brooklyn, Mr. DJ Links. DJ, tell us this breaking news you've just acquired.
Thank you, Rob. This news is devastating. We just learned through the release of the JFK files that JFK, John F. Kennedy, was indeed assassinated. Troubling times for our country. Back to you, Rob, in the studio.
That is troubling indeed. I'm not sure how the country will be able to continue on and make its way after this this tragedy. Again, in case you missed it, John F. Kennedy, President of the United States many, many decades ago, was assassinated many decades ago.
That's
Mark,
terrible, Rob.
Thank you for your opinion.
That's terrible, Rob. I hate to hear it. Tragedy has struck.
Yeah.
Nation will never be the same.
Yeah. Adam, your thoughts on this?
I think they're probably just going to take a big black marker and just go over a whole bunch of it.
They make it all go away.
They released it and they didn't. And one of the most talked about points on it is where there was numerous places that were put in brackets and handwritten at the bottom, redact these. And these aren't old brackets. These are new, done when these were being processed to be released to us 2 days ago. They bracketed stuff and wrote good to release, except what's in brackets. And they released it all intentionally unredacted. You still had people in the government wanting to redact elements about it. And they released them completely unredacted, which is, it's one of those things when you look at these documents, if you go into them like I'm looking for, there is no definitive, this person made the call, this person pulled the trigger. That paper doesn't exist and it never has.
It doesn't say if he was a patsy or not, or
those papers never exist because the level of which this is at and like that's just not a thing. But all you can hope for is to get files that give you evidence to come to a conclusion. If you're doing your own look at it, the government's not going to tell you anything other than what the initial story is. But what the papers do give you is more information that helps helps a narrative. Like you can lay down all this and you can see just how vast like everything that was going on at that time was. It's really it takes you to a bigger story other than just simply and like the death of JFK. But what's in those brackets is got a lot of people fired up that were already fired up about what's in those brackets.
People's names probably that
there are specific names, but it's not of people that work or lived in America. But it's stuff that like legit, I don't like. You just can't say certain things on a streaming platform.
I think that there are specific agents and their families that are very upset that their names were released because of this. Because they didn't see like the relevance of why, and like agents who got assigned to investigate it later, why they would necessarily be included in it.
That dude that was on the grassy knoll is pissed.
Oh, no,
he's pissed. Well, dude, I think he's been on TV and talked about it. Here's the thing.
Shout out to Zapruder.
The Zapruder tape, bro. I think it was a coordination between the mob. Sam Giancana did not like him, and the CIA or the powers that be. They did not like the Kennedy boys. The powers that be, the military,
the warmongers hated him
because they were bootleggers that bought their way into the. I mean, look, was John F. Kennedy a good man? In some ways, he was a great man. In other ways, he was a flawed man, just like Gandhi. Right? Everybody's flawed, right? But everybody
hurts.
Okay, besides Rob. But the fact of the matter is, he did not make moves in Cuba that, like, the way he was dealing with the war stage, they didn't like. And they were pissed at him. And I think they fucking took his ass out with the help, because Giancana didn't like him because, one, he fucked Marilyn Monroe. Two, his brother was fucking Marilyn Monroe. And
at the same time?
Yeah.
Eiffel Tower.
Well, I think the order was Jack.
I can't believe I'm hearing these words.
Jack and then Bobby, but there may have been some layover between it's Jack and Bobby.
Been a rotisserie.
Oh, trust me, madam.
Not at the same time, not like both at once, but I mean, like, you could be fucking one in the morning, the other in the evening, you know.
Hey, Rob, I home run, buddy.
On that note, I love you guys all. I unfortunately, because it being end of month, and I have one of my employees. It's her last day before she goes on medical leave for 6 months.
Okay.
I need to go run.
Trump is JFK,
and I have to take 2 hours off today to take my dog to the oncologist because we found out this week my dog has cancer.
I'm sorry, Rob.
So I'm going to bid you all adieu. Hope that you have some more great spirited conversations. And my biggest regret is that I was not here to spend more time with Lady F, and that I must smoke.
Oh, much love,
Lady and madam. I hate to be a baller too. I gotta get going. My wife.
Well, you got that lottery ticket money.
Wow, we're gonna have estrogen on the panel here.
Other than that, I do have a confession. All the money is gone because I used it on groceries. Don't worry, I'm a good man of responsibility. I used it on groceries because I know
caramel corn.
I thought I was gonna have to judge you how you used the money that you got for free. I was prepared.
I used half of it. Yes, I gave some to the old man, but the thing is, I used the most of it on groceries because
You know what? You could use.
There's only one way I can put this. There's only one way. Love all yous, but there's only one way I could put this description. I need my caffeine. Also, I made a promise the night before that because this was going to be with my $15. Again, this was the night before I said I was going to do this. Before going shopping, I was going to promise my chat I will try my best to afford one of these.
What is that?
That is Captain Eli's Blueberry Pop. And I told my fans, it's spring. I want to have a tradition where in springtime I buy Blueberry Pop. Because blueberries, spring.
Yeah.
Spring, yeah.
Sure. I always think like spring Shamrock Shakes.
Shamrock Shake.
I would have bought that, but I had already had McDonald's enough. I've been doing too much McDonald's. It is becoming an addiction. And even though I don't have it a lot, but still. I bought Subway last night.
Eat fresh.
Living on the
foot
edge.
Long.
Shout out to Jerry.
Oh, it was a foot long. You know me.
So there's something that when I went to LSU, they had a thing. They had this awesome strawberry lager that would come out. It was made from like strawberry wheat, and it has a nice sweet taste. And it comes out in the summer. And I would always get it's a Beta. It's made in what's this place? The Springs, something Springs, Louisiana. It's where fucking old girl was.
Springfield.
Not Abita Springs, maybe, but it was close to there. Britney Spears' family lives close to there, or OG. But yeah, it's a little Abita is a Louisiana brewery, and it came out every year with seasonal strawberry wheat beer. Man, I like that. It was good.
I like to think of how Sam Adams comes out with a different beer for every month of the year.
For freedom.
Wonder what their springtime beer is.
Usually it's some kind of, there's also something called Purple Haze. And I think what kind of weed is it?
I was about to say that was Bud when I was growing up.
I was going to say that too. Yeah.
Purple Haze Abita beer is like the best. It's a fruit beer. So it comes from brewing raspberries. That's what it is.
Oh, it's the Lambrus beer? Fremroy's or whatever.
I don't know. It's made by Abita. It's just a type of beer.
Is it like carbonated almost? It's like...
No. Purple Haze? No. Here, let me. Purple Haze.
Actually, about the JFK thing, and the JFK thing, like right now, it's like all died down and everything. But when it happened, I'm sure everyone was just as like everyone in the country must have had like PTSD just from watching that.
So,
just like you almost said when Trump almost got his head.
I can give you recounts. My mom, so in 1963, when he died, my mom was 5 years old. She was born in 1958. And she said that she remembers her grandma, her mom, so my Granny Pinkston, just losing her shit, crying. She went outside and cried. And my mom remembers going out and crying with my granny, but she didn't know why.
Wow.
But she knows that it was just really sad and that everybody was crying a lot. And I was like, damn, Mom.
Yeah. I remember asking my mom, and it was the same thing. So my mom got home from school and just walked in, and my grandmother just bawling her eyes out. And she had no idea why. And it was just like, okay, let's all just cry because Mom is crying.
Yeah, man. I think there was a lot of weeping that day. Nobody wants to see that shit. Nobody wants to see a president get shot.
That's your whole shock,
Most
our big thing is 9/11 because we can identify with that because we are all around to witness that and be
I prefer bullets going through the flesh of humans just not be a thing, but nobody asked me, and so
I'll ask you.
I want bullets to fly everywhere. No.
Just like that.
I was born where I always thought of a gun as a tool for a farm. Like,
just on that note, Lady F, if you think about it, 9/11, they didn't use many guns either.
What? Who is they?
On 9/11.
Not many guns were used, no, if any.
No, but still they were able to
achieve
their end goal.
Hurling through the air. I felt the way when Darth Plagueis was killed by Darth Sidious. I guess that was a heady time too, man. AR.
Shout out to Darth Sidious. Darth Sidious is Palpatine, right?
That's what.
I'm not well versed in my Star Wars lore.
So
I just saw where the new Star Wars movie, the Mandalorian Grogu movie, how they announced all the D+ TV shows are getting like an actual movie where the stories continue
with Ahsoka in that.
Yeah, they announced $150 million budget on it, which is like the lowest budget Star Wars film since Disney took over. Even if you look at the TV shows, which isn't, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm saying that's a step in the right direction because 150 million, that should be a blockbuster sized movie. Yeah. And for whatever reason, over the last 5 years, they started pretending like you need 200, 300 plus million to make a movie, which is, I've been calling it money laundering.
You think with CGI and everything.
Oh, you think money laundering is the only thing happening? That's happening everywhere. Look at but
pointing something out doesn't mean it's not happening everywhere. I'm just saying it seemed like a clear example of where studios
gouging prices,
where they were padding and moving funds because Bob Chapek got in trouble for moving funds and stuff at Disney and all that stuff, which is one reason why Iger had to come back. They crucified Chapek. They're all doing that, like you say, but they let it become public knowledge that it was happening to get rid of him because they were so many failures under his little small watch. But 150 million, that has me excited
my question was,
fan,
is Favreau still involved with Disney as far as the Star Wars content creation?
Really, I'm about to say he doesn't work exclusively for Disney, but I don't know what he's.
Well, he seems like an ideas guy because he's got his.
The Mandalorian was his.
Well, his read on the psyche of what's going to resonate in the hearts of people, I think he's got his thumb on that. He's the man that restarted the MCU, and all of us big kids got excited. He
gave us Iron Man 1, but you have to remember he also gave you Iron Man 2, which I like Iron Man 2, but a lot of people that wasn't the feedback of that movie in real time was it wasn't good.
I don't care. Is that the one with Sam Rockwell?
Yeah,
I like that one. That's the best one.
And I like 3. Yeah, and I like 3.
Yeah, I like them all. When the not the Mandalorian, the Mandarin.
The Mandarin DeLorean.
Ben Kingsley or whatever.
He had the orange suit.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
some people did not like it.
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was great.
But he gave us that. He gave us the Jungle Book remake, the live action one that was so good that it was undeniably good. You don't have to like it, but it was so well done. It was a faithful retelling. I mean,
yes, Jungle Book. For some reason, I thought Lion King in my head.
Yeah, Jungle Book. I think Jungle Book was one that sparked it all, isn't it? That was the first one they did.
Man Cub, Mowgli. It would have made the most sense to do that one live, though. That's the thing for me. Is
it's been done live a handful of times. Not that.
I think it's got done. I mean, because isn't Jungle Book based off Rudyard Kipling shit?
Yeah, it's his book. And then at the same time that they had the Jon Favreau Jungle Book, they had Andy Serkis did the movie called Mowgli, live action adaptation of the Jungle Book.
Filoni is the big factor in the Star Wars films.
Filoni is the guy that did the Rebels TV show and the Ahsoka TV show. He's the George Lucas understudy. He's the goober with the cowboy hat who he's got the newer lore and the old
he's
lore.
He's a goober with the cowboy hat.
Well, he is. That's
it's funny. He's a fanboy.
Yeah. But if
it seems like it's the fanboys that have been doing the best.
If they would just give the reins over to
fanboys,
Filoni and Favreau, to let them two craft together what the direction is, it would still be a rough road ahead because of how much pavement they laid in the last couple of years that people aren't a fan of, and it'd be hard just to cut ties, depart, call it all an Elseworld, whatever. You still have to work off of this sketchy foundation.
Not really. I think if you separate from the main Skywalker stuff, which they kind of did with Rogue One, and to me, Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie.
And Andor. You're in such a pocket right there. You have to stay in that like between the prequels and before the original Pocket to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, just get away. I don't want to see another Skywalker thing. Like
I just like the first three.
Have y'all? I kind of
4,
thought
5,
that's
and
been
6.
weird. There's been a lot of people say like the whole get away from the Skywalker stuff. It's a big universe, and I can't think of like another franchise where you want to get away from it but stay in it at the same time. Because like you have the Marvel franchise that's doing awful right now with fan reaction because we're away from what we all fell in love with. We're away from Thor's unrecognizable. Captain America's gone. Iron Man's gone. We're away from the core that we came for. Star Wars is a little different though, I guess, because of how long it's been around. But
I think with Star Wars, what's really impressive, characters aside, the world is just so immense.
The universe.
The universe. With the MCU, I think is just focused on the characters because it takes place in our real world.
Yeah. Well, in Star Wars, it's always focused on the characters too. It's been up until recently, it's been the Skywalker saga. You've had Luke in the original one. He's your focus character. Obi-Wan was there. Anakin was there as Darth Vader. And then the prequels, it's Anakin and Obi-Wan. In the Clone Wars, Anakin and Obi-Wan. We have like multiple lifetimes worth of content that focus on Skywalker and Obi-Wan. But now we're at a place where we don't have any of that. They kill off Han Solo. They kill off Leia. And they introduce us to characters that just haven't resonated, and everyone's saying get away from Skywalker when the biggest crime they did was bastardize Luke and everyone hated it. Like it's the Skywalker stuff that people like.
So if I hear you correctly, it's not getting away from Star Wars, it's course correcting it and making Skywalkers awesome again.
Yeah, I think like that's a necessity. Like because like
MAGA make Anakin great again.
In my opinion, like there was a great Star Wars expanded universe. They should have told the story. Like, why aren't we following Luke's kids? Why didn't they do? I know like Mark got too old. It's been too long to do like the Dark Reign where Luke dabbles in the dark side for a while, but Luke and Leia have kids. The Skywalker legacy continues. Some of those kids are Force sensitive, some aren't. Those stories were told in the comics. Like that is the continuation.
They have kids.
These were canon until Disney threw them out. But they threw them out.
Those kids weren't just degenerates, and they just didn't warrant the story because
that would have been the story. We don't have.
I'll cover it yet. Let me cover it because they're going to go to some fucking Star Wars version of Scared Straight where there's clones, and clones are just going to be like scaring the shit out of them. Like, and there's going to be what's that guy that played fucking Dooku? Count Dooku is going to be the count.
Christopher Lee.
Is he's still with us?
No.
But that's okay.
That's what's going to make it even more scary.
They figured that out with Tupac.
That's true. Shout out to Count Dooku. I'm going to have to bounce.
All right, bye.
Count Dooku is my deal breaker. I'm out.
Dooku out.
Peace.
Dickie's Barbecue, Dooku. Hate that layout.
Dooku.
Boom.
Hate that layout.
Yeah, that's the mugshot layout. We just need those little things with our height behind us. I reread all the Star Wars books for years, and then they changed it.
So kind of like comics, like.
Yeah, they had the books. They adapted it. That's what the Dark Horse stuff. All of that Dark Horse stuff for like Alien, Predator, Star Wars, Terminator. It's graphic novelizations of the actual novels.
But see, there's people that I've heard say that the Dark Horse Star Wars stuff is their favorite stuff.
Yeah, like everyone who reads it. Yeah.
It was very breathy. My brother I remember my brother buying the Dark Horse.
That's where Thrawn comes from, like the whole Heir to the Empire thing with Admiral Thrawn, who they like made like a Ahsoka kind of villain. Yeah. But they get into like Mara Jade and all these characters that have been fan loved for. If you think about it, that's been like 30 years. People have been like big time
Ahsoka, like all those kind of people.
Ahsoka came along in Clone Wars,
but wasn't that part of Dark Horse publication? Mm-hmm. It wasn't.
No, Clone Wars was the cartoon TV show that they put out back in the day. The prequels.
Yeah, but Dark Horse did a Clone Wars comic based on that. You know why? Because I found one that was a newsstand for fucking
I've got the Dark Horse Attack of the Clones stuff, which is kind of like just a comic version of the movies, but I don't know if I've seen the
That's what they may have done. I would have to look at this book again. It's in my stack for Tacoma.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones is like what is the story that sets off the war.
That's what my brother was obsessed with, like Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, like those movies. And I'm sure
Attack of the Clones is my favorite Star Wars movie to date. It's like everyone's last favorite for whatever reason, but it's my absolute favorite. Like Jango Fett is like one of the coolest characters ever, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's like Boba Fett if he was capable of doing stuff.
Like Jango
is awesome. I think I have his
like
first
Boba if he was colder.
I've got this book slabbed up. I've got it in a 9.8, but I have this raw one just sitting out. This is dude's first appearance in comics.
And yep. It's a fight attack so good, Legion.
Yeah, I love this book. Him and Zam Wesell were cool as hell. Like in the beginning of Attack of the Clones, when Anakin and Obi-Wan are chasing down the would-be assassin, the changeling, that can shapeshift her face. Sam Wesell was her name. They cut her arm off in the bar and they're about to question her, and then she takes one to the neck and dies, and they look up, and in the distance on a building you see Jango for the first time put his gun up and just rocket pack out of there. You're like, yes. It was cool.
Punisher with a
he took her out, but they have, if you read the books, they have like a long history of competing against each other as bounty hunters, working together. So it was kind of like super duper savage that he just offed her like that. Like,
yeah, because it's like a loose organization, and he kind of just fucking took somebody's job.
Yeah, and again, like she saved his life before, and vice versa. And I don't know, there no honor amongst thieves, I guess.
Dark Horse
adaptation the novels.
Yes,
the Dark Horse original Star Wars line was the Old Republic stuff, thousands of years before the Clone Wars. Everything else was adaptations.
That's what my bro was into too, the Old Republic, because I think that there was a game called Knights of the Old Republic. He played the shit out of that game. Kids, boys, and their Star Wars. That's all the shit he did. He was like into that and fucking Diablo, and because I remember hearing that.
Yeah, Diablo was big.
Well, see, I'm just learning how to play Diablo 4. I've just learned how to start playing Diablo 4. I've never played any of the Diablos, never knew what the fuck they were about because I'm a dork that does Nintendo shit, not PC shit or harder, scarier shit.
90 was big into Diablo 2.
So I'm learning now, Mike, or in 90 MFC chat. Sorry. My shit, bro. I'm a fucking druid. I got me a druid build with a wolf NATO and a werebear. If you guys know what that means, with Grizzly Rage.
Did you read Star Wars: The New Jedi Order Vector Prime? That book made me cry. If you know, you know, you know. I have not.
Yeah,
I have not.
And then, like, now that I'm realizing the whole, and see, I got into Diablo because basically my guys, my buddies that were playing Fortnite with me were like, y'all, this is boring as fuck. Let's find another fucking game that we can play because basically we enjoy talking mad shit to each other, like just being, so cruel to each other while we play because it's hilarious. Just,
oh, wow. That's commitment.
That's cold.
The Disney era of Star Wars would have been just a massive success had they just, like, you don't have to do it shot for shot, spot for spot, but if they would have just taken the existing canon and just made it into movies, made it into shows, like it's limitless how much stuff that they can do. You would have, I don't know why.
I feel the same way about comics and movies.
Well, I think it's hubris. Well, comics is a great example of how, like, they took the Infinity Gauntlet. They're like, well, we can't adapt this one for one, but how can we do a movie version of it? We have the story.
And make it good. It can be done.
Yeah, like we have the map. This is the general direction we need to go with this. So how do we make it work for our medium? That's all they had to do, you know. That's all they had to do. But I think it was hubris with certain people wanting to create their own characters to be remembered for. And I've said it before, when you look at like the comic medium, you want to go make a movie or a show, and they're like, don't read the books, but take these characters and do it. Like that's that's some kind of like flawed ego right there, where these stories still exist because of how good they were. These characters resonate with people long after they're gone, and they're timeless. And then you have these people come in and like, yeah, you can write it better. Like, where's your resume that makes you think that you can write something or create these characters better than they already exist for people?
I think when it gets bad, when they try to say, well, we need to make everybody relate to it, and we need to make this more crowd friendly. Because the thing is that while you try to make it more crowd friendly, you lose the magic that made the story good to begin with.
Making it relate to everybody ends up relating to nobody. That's that's why the comics work so good. You know, you have those people that are like, modern comics are dead, comics suck, I only buy old comics. I'm like, bro, like there's so many. I used
to be one of those people.
Well, there's so many books that come out. You can say that. There's some people that can say that honestly about maybe 90% of it, but the other 10% of it, you can't afford to pull everyone that comes out because of how many are out there.
I think the fact of the matter is good shit's still being written. You just have to go through a lot of crap first.
Yeah. Are there these cringe stories out there? Are these absolutely?
I probably read most of them.
Yeah, but and that's the thing with trying to appeal to everybody. You don't have to appeal to everybody, especially an ensemble movie. Go grab the one character.
It's a fail.
Well, go grab that one character that appeals to 5% of the audience and put them in the movie somewhere, and then grab that character that appeals to like a large part and put them in the movie. You know, like you don't have to change existing characters because there's a character out there for.
Yeah, I just feel like there's been a lot of content compromise just for the sake of numbers, and that ends up making the shit worse.
It backfired. That's the crazy thing. What's the craziest thing about it? I get trying stuff. I get giving it a shot. But the crazy thing is how long they persisted with declining numbers.
Yeah, it's just greed, dude. And it's like, okay, fine. So you're cool with making a subpar product in the sense that maybe you'll have a bigger opening weekend, but it's just not going to sell. Like it's not going to do well. Like
and it doesn't work. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what's like very eye-opening, right?
What?
Daredevil's like high watermark so far has been 7.4 million viewers. Some people will be like, oh, that's a lot. No, that's insanely low. Like that's one of the lowest numbers that Disney Plus has seen for a release, right?
Is it so I have a couple of questions because
let me give you the full context real quick. I'm sorry.
Right.
So that's below Acolyte. That's below Agatha. Daredevil's a recognizable, established, known character with a fan base from existing TV shows. Not even just the comic crowd, but TV show crowd.
He's never been that popular, in my opinion.
Well, he's existing and known. Like I'm not saying he's up there with a lot of the other ones. He has
around for a minute.
He has a base. It's not comparable to the bigger bases, but he has one. So for comparison, the number one television show on Netflix you ain't even heard of probably because it's just
Severance or some shit.
No, that's Apple. It's a show called Adolescence. Premiered to 24.3 million viewers on a show that doesn't have an established fan base. Nobody knows about. Had no press, but people were just interested from flipping it on and saying, "What's this?" 24.3 million viewers on a show without a built-in base, without a pre-existing season. I don't want to get into the topic of it because we're on YouTube.
Okay.
A teenager troubles at school, violence, bullying, revenge.
So like going to school, basically every American's fucking.
It's about
school experience.
It's about the fallout from actions taken from a kid who was being bullied.
Oh God. So probably something not that great.
So it's I don't.
Violence.
Anyway, Donnie Wahlberg's in it, I believe. Maybe might
be New Kid on the Block.
No, the guy who played Tommy in Snatch is in it. Did you ever see Boardwalk Empire? He played Capone.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
the little.
Yeah. Yes.
He's like a little mousy looking guy.
Yeah. He's older now. He looks like he does.
He's probably 50s. 50.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture of him.
I think I know exactly who you're talking about. Yep, that's exactly who you're talking about. Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Good actor, solid actor,
great character actor.
24.3 million viewers on a show that doesn't have any established anything compared to 7 million on a show. And if you look at the budgets for the two, it should make investors throw up, like legitimately. It should make them, like, if I was an investor and I'm looking at comparable statistics from another streaming platform on a show that has no special effects, no major name this or that, just a situational drama show that they could put in like maybe like, I don't know, $15 million an episode on the high end versus something that's costing like 50 an episode. That's crazy. They've broken their brand, like completely shattered their brand.
Let's just think about this for a second, because I can make an argument of why that would be very, very popular.
Go for it.
How many school shootings do we have?
Oh, come on, Caroline. What the fuck?
What? I can't say that.
I'm over here tiptoeing on topics and shit because YouTube's strict right now. Don't know
I'm
why.
sorry. I didn't know. We can't even talk about it. Sorry.
Well, that's why I pointed out it's not even an advertised TV show. We haven't even heard of it.
Okay, so how many negative incidents do we have at school now that result in not good things?
A lot of scared parents.
A lot.
Okay.
A lot of scared parents.
And like those kids, like, why should they have more war prep than a fucking private going into the, it's just like, man. But anyways, that's why it's popular. And maybe it's popular because we can't talk about it. And so the only way that you can get
it gets talked about. We just can't do it on YouTube because for whatever reason, this stream with all
I'm the last person that's going to be able. I just can't help it.
Gets me hit a lot.
I say what I said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. But that's why I tried to tiptoe on it beforehand.
It's not about America. That the phenomenon I mentioned.
No, you must be talking about the show. I haven't watched it. I just have the synopsis, so I don't think it's about what you said though.
Okay. Sorry.
But Born Again, we talked about this earlier, JSS. It was originally an 18 episode season one that they scaled back to just these 8 or 9 episodes. They didn't scale it back. They just cut it in half, and they're calling it season 1 and season 2 instead of 1A and 1B. That's why they greenlit season 2 the weekend that they released episode 1 and 2, because it was never not greenlit. It was always going to have
British crime drama. Oh God, I love a British crime drama. They do it the best. All right, you guys want to see good? Look up Broadchurch.
What's it on?
It's great BBC crime drama. It's got David Tennant in it and Olivia Colman, 2 of the best British actors out there. Check out Luther. It's also
I'm familiar with Luther. That's Idris Elba, right?
Oh yeah, he's so hot.
Yeah, he's great.
Check it out. There's so I feel like BBC does their crime drama so much better than we do it here. But that's me. Well, David Tennant is just the best. Period. Purple Man. I mean, thank you, Purple Man. Jessica Jones, peak TV. Who I would love to see again. Bring her back. Shit. Bring her in Cage. I need Jessica Jones and Cage stuff. And I liked the Luke Cage that they did.
Oh, good news. You're a fan. Next episode of Daredevil, the guest star will be Kamala Khan's dad.
I heard that. Yeah. But Peaky Blinders. I've seen Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, with Cillian Murphy.
He was he's in that, but also I think that little dude may be in that, or Boardwalk Empire.
Little dude. I gotta find his name.
Mousy dude. He's been in like everything because he used to be like in the teen movies where
Stephen Graham. His name is Stephen Graham. So we can put a name on him. The guy's got a resume.
With a PH or a V?
It's with a PH.
Okay.
Stephen Graham. Graham. Because there's an H in there too in Graham. Stephen Graham.
Now, when he watches this episode, he won't be offended, Mark.
Yeah, I've been a fan. I've been a fan of his.
He's 51.
Been a fan of his since he did Snatch. That's one hell of a movie.
Yeah,
I love Snatch.
Snatch was okay. That's so long ago, though. I hardly remember it.
You remember Jason Statham? Remember Jason Statham was in it, one of his early roles, and Jason Statham's little partner.
He basically
how they go to the Pikes and they go betting on like the caravan pair with blue. Pikes. Yeah, but Stephen Graham was Jason Statham's partner. Like they were the two that were criming together. That's who Stephen Graham is. And they have the dogs chase down the rabbit and stuff, and they get Brad Pitt to go fight in a bare knuckle boxing fight, and he throws.
And you can't understand a thing he says.
It's so awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, I
That's
love
such
those.
a good movie.
I found Guy Ritchie movies to be fun. Just knock them up, shoot them up. If you
There's
wanted
machine gun dialogue is how I describe them. They're
Yeah.
fast-paced, action-packed dialogue.
Just
And
kind
I
of
remember the
what can you
first
say
time
between gunshots? Basically,
the first time that I saw
like 'em.
that, I was a younger teenager when that came out, I think. And I legitimate couldn't understand half of what they were saying. It took me watching it a couple times.
That's
But
high
as soon as
school,
I
college,
as soon
early
as I
college.
got in the pocket, I'm like, now I know how Rob feels with all this pro UK stuff. Like, I'm in.
Yeah, he's a great character actor. Because I've seen him in stuff.
He was in Boiling Point, Snatch. He was in Venom. He's in the Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean.
He's in all
Boardwalk Empire.
He's in all the Venom movies. He's the police officer detective.
He was in Matilda the musical. What the fuck?
Oh, thank God for that.
Gangs of New York.
He was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Who was
on
he in
Stranger
Gangs of New
Tides.
York?
Stephen Graham.
I know,
Band
but
of
who
Brothers.
No, but in Gangs of New York, what
He was a dude. I don't know who he was.
He was in Public Enemies.
He was probably just a
Band
little
of
lackey.
Brothers, The Killing Fields. Man, he has a very, very
a great movie. Wow. That's
Do you remember when Pirates of the Caribbean came back? They did the trilogy, and then Disney couldn't find a replacement. They tried with John Carter, Lone Ranger, Tron Legacy.
Oh,
but then after all of those were huge financial losses, and John Carter almost shut down Disney's studio because of how big of a loss it was at the time. They went back to Pirates of the Caribbean, but they didn't bring back all the cast. They brought back Johnny. They introduced the new. Like Orlando Bloom's character, he's now on the Flying Dutchman. You know, that's
and there's no like Keira Knightley anymore.
Yeah. So they bring in like the next cast and stuff. Stephen Graham replaced, the two pirates, the one that had the fake eye, the two goofy guys, the tall skinny guys.
He was on The Office, the original Office.
Yeah, they were there for all three movies. Well, they were replaced by Stephen Graham. He was now your reoccurring like pirate dude on the boat with us for the little comic relief. He was good in there.
Okay.
Like when they did the mermaids thing where they had like sing to the mermaids to get him to come. I think he was one of the ones singing and stuff. I love all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. And I heard that they're bringing Johnny back for more. Band of Brothers. Yeah.
Band of Brothers was super good too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I watched that. There was a time where I really got over World War II shit. And
I love history so much.
Oh no, I'm just saying when Band of Brothers on. Trust me, I've done my World War II dive. I was just not
that rabbit hole never runs out, does it?
No.
Huh?
That rabbit hole never runs out. Going down like the old war rabbit holes, not even just World War II, but
I have different seasons. So like there'll be times where it's like, okay, well, let me go into, because American history and American like military complex is really pretty young. Like we got a couple hundred years.
Hey, we got a birthday coming up. It's gonna be a big one.
But go back to fucking Sun Tzu and read some of that shit and like the old empires going back into the
You know what's the craziest thing? Like as you revisit a lot of these topics, there's the surface level stuff. This battle was fought here and this stopped this. But like one thing that it's hard to recapture, and I'm finding almost impossible, is understanding the context of the time. Like
you can't.
Just like how we have like differing opinions and political ideologies, like all of that is not new.
Right.
Like that's back then as well, and it's so difficult to apply motive.
So I've been watching
what the Greek thinking was around
that
time.
And then when you're talking in the war, you have the Allied forces, so you have the multiple ideologies from multiple people that are all working together. So like everything is just it's crazy. You can find some cool conspiracies back there too and stuff.
Fuck yeah, there was probably more in that war than any.
Yeah, that's where CIA kind of blossomed out of.
Yes, it is. And that's how MI6 got blossomed, and there's how a lot of clandestine operations and groups were formed because of secret networks of communication that formed a web across Europe, and a lot of those people were fucking little old hag ladies that you would never suspect could be messengers, but they were the ones bringing shit in their baskets that were fucking like little notes or whatever. Like, here, people, meet that. So there were all kinds of, like, everybody played a role. Everybody played a role. Like, it wasn't just the soldiers. Everybody had a role to play in the resistance. But so what I've been watching lately is World War II, like in Germany. How did the Germans become, like, did they agree to this? Were they really complicit? How much knowledge do they have? And like reading about the initial discoveries of these death camps by the Americans, and them like forcing to walk the Germans that were part of that town, like through the death camp. Like, did you guys know this was going on? Like, what the fuck? And some of them just not reacting, some of them barfing, you know, and it just, you know, because
there's this guy, his name's Dan Carlin. He's like probably one of the deepest history researchers I've ever found. And he does a show. It's just him talking, but it's him going over like stuff in history all the way back to stuff in like feudal Japan, even at times, but topics all the way to current. And if you want to like kind of like, just for example, if he does something on World War II, it would be on like this, like X-Acto knife slice of World War II, something very specific, but it'll be a 4-hour podcast on that thing, because he does do what I'm incapable of doing and understanding the fine details. And it is so wild. The only downside is to gain this information requires so much time. Like, just to be told of one small detail, it's like a 4-hour long podcast, but the way that he presents it is like, it's easy to listen to, but it's just so much information. You would have to like re-listen to one of these things multiple times to even try to repeat any detail to tell someone else what happened. It's just so much detail, but I think his show's called Hardcore History. I have never found any history stuff more detailed and enjoyable than that, but it's like Snyder Cut, you know, it's the Snyder Cut of history.
I've been finding a lot of different documentaries about World War II through like American sources, but then there's also like BBC and like the German version of BBC. And
GBC?
It's like something
German
Deutsch,
broadcasting channel.
It's like Deutsch TV or something. But you know,
is it also state-funded television?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's state-funded. I think it's publicly funded, like BBC. But it's supplemented by the
that's
government.
The same thing, isn't it? State-funded, publicly funded.
I don't know, because I guess it's funded if the state uses your tax money to fund it.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't know if that's where that it has to be. If it's state funded, then it's publicly funded, right?
Yeah. At least from our perspective, how we do things here.
Because it's like, you know. Yeah, Ken Burns stuff I really like watching. He does 4, 5, 6 episodes on shit. But I don't like violence. And it seems like that has been a tool used throughout the existence of man.
Oh yeah, forever and for always will be.
Well,
it's good to be able to say I don't like violence. I'm against violence, but it's also very important to remember that violence will always exist, and in large degrees will be a necessity because it always exists.
I just
feel
thankful
that we don't have to deal with it for most part of our life.
Our capacity as humans,
violence is mostly testosterone. So I feel like if it was just girls, I don't feel like there'd be a lot of violence.
You know what I mean? Everyone be getting their hair pulled across the United
you just
States.
Be getting your mind fucked and being like, why am I so upset right now? You just fucking ruined me with a sentence.
I know, right?
But I just I feel like here's the thing, like violence is a lower form of behavior where like reptilians, like we got a brainstem. Our brainstem is the first most basic part of our brain. That's where we need to live, eat, breathe, shit, fuck, all that. Okay. That's the most that, you know, and to survival. And that means fighting conflict is one of those orders because it's a basic drive for survival is the use of violence. And so, yeah, it was definitely needed and justifiable for us to get to where we are now. Fighting whatever, natural predators we had. We don't really have any natural predators now except for ourselves.
Disease. That's our natural predator now, disease.
It is something that we will always have to deal with is, yes, disease is something. It's not something I think that is intended, whereas like war is two sentient like sides. Both of them are human and they both know what they're doing.
Well, it happens in nature as well. Like if you look at the chimpanzee stuff, like chimpanzees settle in groups.
Natural.
They have territories and they literally plan.
Lions.
They literally plan and invade and raid neighboring packs to take over their territory. It's instinctual.
They're a social group and they're tribal.
Yeah,
like that's how they work. Yeah, it's social. I mean, like that's what we were. We came from that kind of like primates.
Where you came from? I didn't come from a goddamn chimpanzee.
We have common ancestors that we share, and because we have about 98% homology,
that 2% makes a difference, don't it?
It do, don't it?
It do.
It's about.
I was about to say 2% right here.
Prefrontal cortex, okay, and what that prefrontal cortex does is gives us the ability to choose right from wrong.
Oh shit!
And have
I don't know how I didn't text you about this earlier. I just learned about it and watched it this past week. I don't know how the fuck.
We're better than more.
Cave of Bones. Have you watched or heard it? It's on Netflix.
We need to learn how to use our words.
Cave of Bones. They discovered this cave that they were looking in and they found bones. And they're like, okay, cool. We found bones. And they look at them. Bones are approximately 250 million years old. So they're not Homo sapiens. They found a new Homo species that they were able to identify and put in the lineage. Homo. Now, here's the cool part, Caroline. They were doing ritual burying in the cave.
Were there signs of healing wounds, healing bones?
Not in this documentary, but they did find. No, not in this documentary. But what they found is ritual burials, and even in the case of one child's bone, they put his tool in his hand and buried him with his tool, showing that he had a favorite tool. They found 250 million years ago, this non-Homo sapien species was using tools to make tools, and this kid was attached to this one. So when he lost his life, they buried him with it. So super cool, super awesome, like goosebumps through the whole documentary. It's fantastic. It's short. It's just a
Cave of Bones.
Yeah, it's so good. It's from the Origin series on Netflix.
Earliest signs of civilization and of pro-social behavior, because we wondered, a lot of those archaeologists ask, when did we go from just rutting monkey to a tribe that we realized that we have to help each other to survive? Yeah, so I think it's 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, 1,000, not
so
million.
Because a couple 100,000 years ago, there was a female scientist who found evidence of a broken bone that had been healed, and that her evidence for pro-social societies forming had to have been around that time, because you had never seen an attempt to heal wounds before.
How did they determine that it was
it was bound? You could see the break, but it had been healed. You could see the break line, and there was a bounding.
Because I would assume, just playing the devil's advocate, that if there has to be someone out there who broke something and didn't tend to it, and it just
I think that's the thing is, before that period of time or that group of people, you saw just breaks, and those breaks never healed or whatever. Gotcha. You would just die. Yeah. But in this, what they're seeing is they're seeing re-healed bones in people that it was clear that you can suffer, because you'll see that in x-rays or whatever if you do. And so her argument for pro-social and domestication behaviors began around the time humans started taking care of one another.
What's to say that guy didn't put the brace on himself?
That's what they're thinking.
Even in that way, if they had that knowledge, they would be applying it to each other.
Yeah,
because
when also the idea
themselves, they would be fixing each other.
Yeah, the idea of comprehending bounding it, whether someone else thinks of doing it for you or you doing it yourself for an animal, which
they've got solutions to healing.
Yeah, because you got to think like the idea of like apes using tools or stuff like that is like on the precipice of.
There would be a point before where it's like, if you broke something, all right, well, we're abandoning you because your effort load or your burden is too great for us to have to care and feed for you. Bye. Love you, mean it. But then there probably came a point where it's like, oh shit, you have contributed to our tribe. You're valuable. We're not going to let an arm break. We're going to try and make this because you bring
we care for you. You're not willing,
and you care for us.
We're willing to work. Birds like leave another bird behind when one's injured. Like
I mean, it just is what it is. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here.
Oh, fine.
I'm sorry for saying bad shit on your show.
We're finally getting into topics that I just love to discuss. I don't have a lot of people to talk this stuff with. It's fun.
No, man, I'm down. We can talk about
dive into Göbekli Tepe with you, but whatever.
I mean,
I have to actually go do a car swap with the wife, and I got to get ready to go pick up kids here shortly.
Yeah.
I sacrifice having to do this car swap. So the last few Fridays, I've been like busy in the morning because the wife's working day shifts a lot. So I take the kids to school because I don't like sitting in the car line with my car because you have to sit there for like an hour with it running, and I don't like doing that with my older vehicle. So I typically take the kids to school so I can have the car I want to pick them up. But that means I have to leave this stream for like an hour and a half. And then by the time you get back, I've just got other shit to do. But now I have to go swap cars with the wife before I go pick them up.
Maybe we could do a stream sometime where it's like Mark and Caroline do history.
Yeah. It's going to be the most fucked up retelling of history anyone's ever heard.
So what had happened was Megatron gave birth.
He was trying to get the Allspark.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, man.
I hope y'all have a fantastic weekend. I get to go to the University of South Carolina tomorrow, Caroline, for Parents' Day.
At Columbia? It's a good school.
Yeah, my oldest is starting college next year. She got accepted and just to wherever. And
I visited there. I thought about going there.
She decided to pick this school, and it's a day where we get to go up there and spend like literally the whole day there with the different activities and games and blah blah blah. And in all sincerity, I'm thinking about running to Walmart and getting some knee-high socks and a Gamecock shirt and a new fan. You got to do
that. That's your duty.
Fucking
tourist dad. Jean shorts.
Jorts.
And some white tennis shoes with the white socks pulled up.
Go get like the Walmart version of New Balances with the Velcro.
Get the socks that have the rings on the top of them, okay?
Those are the ones I need, yep.
But you need to do it up like 90s dad style and be the loudest and proudest.
Maybe a headband,
I should have made a shirt that said, "My kid's smarter than you."
That would have been
the one.
That would really help her with her friends.
She's got her one friend. Yo, her friend from high school, her best bud is actually got in, and they're both going there.
Yeah, they got an honors college there too, where you can do like like basically the nerd classes, the dorkier classes too.
I think I've told you about my oldest before, right? She's
real bright.
Yeah, right. She got scouted out of 8th grade and went straight to college campus to finish to take high school at college.
See, that's where she met her best college.
Yeah.
And
wow, Mark, did you hear that intelligence is passed down through the mother? So actually, your daughter, your wife is really smart.
Right? It's like, I know. I pick out good stock. No, certain schools have housing for the nerds too. Like they'll do an honors college and then they'll have the honors housing that you could stay in. I did that. I was a fucking dork, and then I, graduated. But you do it for like the first couple years, and I don't know, there's some honors and shit you can get with it, but it was similar at LSU. It's a big Southeastern Conference college, and they have, different little things you can do if you're uber nerdy. It's fun.
Yeah. That's she's into that stuff.
Like she's into studying. She's into the.
I love taking Western Civ. It got my rocks off. I learned loving I loved learning like calculus. I learned loving why democracy is shitty, but the best option we have right now. I love learning about how, we decided to become a cooperative as a democracy early in the, Greek times, where they were like loose operating like polises, city states. And then they finally realized, oh God, we're more stronger if we consolidate power.
Now let's go consolidate our neighbors, whether they want to or not.
Assimilation will be like us.
We're going to consolidate them all.
Yeah.
History.
Colonization. Colonialism, but not as white. Colonialism.
We're going to call it consolidating, not colonialism. Consolidating.
Well,
because of optics. Because of optics.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. I'm out. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, I hope y'all have a good day. Tune into In the Mix tonight on DJ Lynx's channel. We'll be talking funny shit over there. Y'all take it easy.
Take care. Bye.